From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's Game 2 of this three-game series and throwback night for the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Bart Ennis joins us in just a few minutes for throwback night. The Astros sporting the old rainbow uniforms there. Familiar to you, Ash?
You know, I think it fit a little differently at one time, but on you, it looks really good, Brown.
Well, you can pick one up at the gift shop when you come out to your next game. But last night's game is what we want to start with because of all the defensive plays and the Astros winning that game 3-2. They really had the glove work going for them.
They had to win this ball game by a run. Jake Marisnick got the defense started. Odor hits a line shot into the gap in left center field, but Jake Marisnick has thoughts about stopping the option for the double, and he does with another perfect throw. Jake has been really good in that regard. The Astros also got a double play happy with this fly ball to right field, rather routine. Excuse the voice, but they get the double play as DeShields was maybe deked at second base. They got a huge out of Prince Fielder as he pops out to end the fifth inning. Runners at first and third at the time. Still 3-0. Josh Hamilton tried to take 1 yard and comes up just that much short as Colby Rasmus makes the play. And then a little later in the ballgame, another big out with Fielder at the plate. He turns out to be the big guy they were able to get out last night. This was the final play. A rocket to short. A lot of guys would have whipped on that one, but the play made by Carlos Correa, and the Astros win it by a run. That was a nail-biter right to that final out.
So as we look at Carlos Correa, who seems to be in so many good spots to bring the Astros through to a win, we can see that he continues to excel with the glove last night and .275 so far as a hitter, Ash.
Well, he's been really solid. I have not seen a game where I thought, maybe the other side is starting to catch up with him. He's going to be just fine. He's shown great power with the 7 home runs, 20 RBIs already, plays a solid defense. This kid is here to stay.
Regarding that play at second base on DeShields last night, here's what Correa told Bart Ennis.
Yeah, when he got to second, I just put my hand stop, foul ball, foul, and he just stayed there. He looked for the ball, and he didn't pick up the coach, and we were able to turn the double play. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that time it worked. So it was a big out for us, and we were able to get the win yesterday. So it was a good one.
And the Astros scattered 15 hits. The first time the Rangers have scored 2 runs on 15 hits. Coming up, Jake Marisnick, Jose Altuve, and the gang are ready to rock again tonight. We'll be back with more in just a moment. 47. They will be sporting the powder blue uniforms they wore in the 80s. And the Astros 50 and 42. You know what uniforms they'll be wearing. And it is a sellout tonight as the Astros and Rangers meet. And now the Astros, who remain a half game behind the leading Angels, who got that walk-off homer from Mike Trout, still in pretty good shape as they begin the run here in the second half, Ash.
Yeah, I don't think you look at it. Where are we in the standings? Second place. What happened there? You're a half game out. And the team has a chance now, starting the second half with a victory last night, a hard-fought one, to be able to get in a solid position for the remainder of the second half of the season. Angels are playing good baseball right now. That's going to come to a halt at some time soon. Just keep going out there night by night, beat the Texas Rangers. You see the two other clubs, Seattle and Oakland, sliding just a bit, but it's going to be a tight division.
Former Ranger Scott Feldman returns to the Astros rotation tonight. He's had knee surgery, a couple of rehab starts, and his mound opponent, Colby Lewis, is as tough as any pitcher has been against the Astros in this ballpark.
Don't know what it is with the Astros bats against Colby Lewis, but they've had a very tough time. A guy who likes to work quickly. Scott Feldman back on the hill. And who's to say what you're going to get from Scott tonight other than a great effort? Scott has been out with that knee surgery and just trying to get it back on the roll now for the Astros.
All right, you all set? Ready to go, Ash?
I'm ready to go. I'm not sure I'm going to be called upon to swing the bat at all, Brownie, but let's go ahead and take it right to the break.
Scott Feldman and company ready to go, and we have Bart Ennis coming your way next.
Watching a terrific salute to our military, and now they're hoping to see the Astros secure a series win over the Rangers here if they can get a win today on Throwback Saturday. Both teams wearing some throwback unis back to the 1980s, and hopefully the Astros can play like the 86 National League Championship Astros. Of course, last night the Astros got a 3-2 win, and part of that win, though, was an injury to first baseman Chris Carter. In the second inning of that game, Carter came off of first to catch a high throw, came down awkwardly on his right leg, and suffered a twisted right ankle. He was removed from the game, and it didn't look good. After the game, he walked into the clubhouse. The ankle was heavily taped, had ice on it, and there was some swelling. So they were waiting to see how he would feel today. And the report is the swelling has actually gone down a little bit. Chris can put some weight on the leg and move around a little bit, so it looks like he will avoid a stint on the DL for now. And that means that John Singleton will get every opportunity to show what he can do over there at first base. Whether there's a lefty or a righty on the mound, it's going to be Singleton's job for a while. Should something happen to Singleton, the backup plan is Marwin Gonzalez can play some first. And also in pregame today, Hank Conger and Luis Valbuena were taking some reps over there as well. So hopefully Carter can get back quickly. And it looks like we're close to getting going here, so let's go back up to the booth. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby, guys.
Thank you, Bart, for that update. And by the way, in order to get Scott Feldman off the disabled list and onto the 25-man roster to make this start tonight, the Astros have placed outfielder Alex Presley on the DFA list, the designated for assignment list. That will give them 10 days to decide how to either make a trade for him. He could be accepting an assignment to the minor leagues. There are some different options available for Alex Presley, but that is the move they made. So now as the Astros take the field with Feldman making his 11th start of the year, things are falling back into something of a lineup as it was to open the season with the rotation. Here is the starting lineup for the Texas Rangers. Delino DeShields leads it off. He's in center field tonight with Rougned Odor at second base. Prince Fielder's the DH. Adrian Beltre at third base. Mitch Moreland at first. Josh Hamilton at left field. Elvis Andrus at short. Shin-Soo Choo's the right fielder. Robinson Chirinos the catcher. And the pitcher will be 8-game winner Colby Lewis.
And on the mound, Scott Feldman. It's been a while, since late May, since we've seen Scott on the mound for the Astros. He has had a knee surgery since. 10 starts on the year, 4-4, and a 4.80 ERA against the Texas Rangers. 3-3 lifetime in 8 starts.
It's DeShields getting ready to go. DeShields with a 271 average has 12 runs batted in. Delino led off last night, played left field, went 2 for 5 in the game. And there's strike one. Tony Randazzo is the home plate umpire. So Feldman's return to the rotation for the first time since May 26th begins with a strike. Valbuena in on the grass at third base. Singleton has crept into the edge of the grass at first. And DeShields falls behind 0-2 to Delino. The Astros first round pick in the 2010 draft. Taken by the Rangers in the Rule 5 draft last December. And he's provided some good play for this Texas club in his rookie season. Off the plate, that makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Feldman is a former Ranger. As we mentioned, they drafted him in 03 in the 30th round. Came up to the big leagues in 05 with them. He won 17 games for them in 09. He was their opening day starter the next year. He sinks that, and DeShields takes ball 2 on a close one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Feldman had right knee surgery after the 2010 season, and then again this year in May. Now it's a full count on DeShields. He's walked 24 times, has a 361 on base average. Feldman on the second year of a 3-year contract with the Astros. Throws ball 4.
Boy, didn't miss by much with anything in that sequence. And that's tough after getting ahead on really tough pitches, not to be able to put the hitter away. Defensively for the Astros, Preston Tucker in left, Jake Marisnick at center, Colby Rasmussen right on the infield. Left side, Luis Valbuena and Carlos Correa. Jose Altuve and John Singleton on the right. Hank Conger gets the start behind the plate.
21-year-old second baseman Rougned Odor settles into the box. DeShields has measured a nice size lead. And there's a bunt up the first base line. Nobody covering. And it's first and second and nobody out. Singleton broke for the ball, as did Feldman, so that will go as a bunt single for Odor.
All you can say there is somebody missed an assignment. I don't know if Altuve was aware that Singleton was going to come in on a bunt, but Altuve never broke toward the bag, and that left both Feldman and Singleton on the baseball and nowhere to throw it.
And now an immediate jam for Feldman with Prince Fielder batting. And Fielder is vying for a batting title this year in the American League. He is second in the batting race right now. Hitting .340, and this one goes in the air. Carlos Correa back into shallow left center field. Infield fly is called. And it's out number one. That's a sigh of relief for Astros fans, the way Fielder's been hitting this year.
Well, that's the big man in the order, and he made some big outs last night thanks to some very nice defense also by Carlos Correa. But that is a huge out to get it. An unlikely jam. I thought it was a real sharp sequence to DeShields. He winds up walking, and then Odor with the bunt single.
Now Adrian Beltre on a 5-game hitting streak will be next. Beltre trying to get his stride together again at .259, has 7 homers, 22 runs batted in. He's been dealing with a left thumb injury.
Pick him.
And DeShields has drawn some attention. Feldman stepping off, and Altuve coming in now.
Might have been the voice of Brent Strom saying pick him, pick him. Altuve was standing right at the bag at second. He's been known to make his opinion out there for all to hear.
That's in the dirt, blocked by Conger on ball 1 to Beltre. Just looked up at El Grande, the big scoreboard. They're going with the flower child arrangements on the players' photos for tonight from the 80s.
That's the way the guys all looked in the 80s, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Can you produce a photo of yourself?
Not a bit like that.
Mitch Moreland's on deck. In for a strike, 1-1. We just chatted with Milo Hamilton before the game. We wish him all the best in his recovery.
Get yourself back out here, Cap.
That's down, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Also, happy birthday to David Schwartz. So for Feldman now, hasn't been on the mound in a few months, coming off a 4-1 win at Baltimore's last time out, May 26th. In need of making some pitches here and hoping to get a double play ball from Beltre. Altuve standing on second base. That's called a strike. Big call too, because it's now 2-2 instead of 3-1. Beltre's been a very good run producer down through the years, and it's important to the Rangers that he do that this year, batting behind Fielder. He fouls that one away. The way Fielder has been on base, and he has 116 hits to lead the American League. Beltre should have many RBI opportunities this season for the Rangers. The Rangers are 10th in runs scored with 372. They're currently 42-47. They're 2-9 in the month of July. They made a pretty good run for a while there, but they have slipped back the last few weeks. They've lost 16 of their last 21 now. Poke to first, Singleton to second. Altuve does not have a play at first, and he's dumped. He gets the out call. The fans all over Odor for dumping Altuve on that force play.
Yeah, you hate to see a guy get dropped like that after the play is basically over, and it was here for Altuve. He was coming off the bag, not making a throw. So at that point, that's not sliding into the bag anymore for Odor.
No, it went well past the base.
There was an instantaneous hesitation by Singleton before unloading to second base. Don't know if that prevented any shot at the double play.
Now Mitch Moreland has runners at first and third, 2 outs. 293, 16 homers, 46 batted in for Moreland. He was 3 for 4 last night. Infield has shifted around, playing him to pull. That is strike 1. Just thinking about the base runner on that last play, Odor. Altuve had received the throw from Singleton for the force play. He was looking at first. There wasn't anybody there, so he did not have a throw to make, and he left himself somewhat vulnerable by standing there near second base. But Odor then slid past the base Bounce foul, 0-2, so we'll see it again.
And that would have been Feldman's assignment to be at the bag at first. Right here, Altuve, maybe even a tough transfer into the right hand. But there's no way Singleton is getting back on that play. And I'll tell you what sets up the unusual play to begin with is the shift scenario where Altuve has to take the throw from his first baseman.
Right. Josh Hamilton's on deck. There's a shift, putting Correa over there on the first base side for out number 3. And as they did all night last night, the Astros dodge a bullet. No score. West Airlines. Jose Altuve leads it off at second base. Preston Tucker's in left field. Carlos Correa, shortstop. DH Evan Gaddis, the cleanup man, followed by third baseman Luis Valbuena. Right fielder Colby Rasmus. Catcher Hank Conger. First baseman John Singleton. Center fielder Jake Marisnick.
And on the mound for these Texas Rangers, right-hander Colby Lewis. Veteran righty. He's made 9 career starts against the Astros, and he is 6-1 lifetime against Houston. Batting average against by the Astros, 194.
In his career at Minute Maid Park, 5-0 with a 1.11 ERA. No opposing pitcher has better numbers than that who is active against the Astros here at Minute Maid Park. Jose Altuve gets it going. He's at 99 hits for the season, 8th in the American League. And there is strike one from Lewis. 293 for Altuve. 8 homers, 39 runs batted in. He had an RBI double, 1 for 3 last night, and drew a walk. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Colby Lewis's secondary stuff, his curveball and changeup, have been effective this year. Fastball has produced a 288 batting average. It's 1-2. And his slider there has kept the hitters down to a 258 average. He primarily throws the fastball and slider. Off the middle, hit softly into center field. Altuve reached out. He went across the plate, found the pitch he could ground up the middle, and he did exactly that for hit number 100.
About all you can do with that tough pitch down and away. Altuve gets things started correctly, and now that defense for the Texas Rangers. Outfield of Josh Hamilton, Delano DeShields, and Shin-Soo Choo. On the infield left side, Adrian Beltran, Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor, and Mitch Moreland are on the right side. And behind the plate, Robinson Chirinos, very fine throwing catcher.
Preston Tucker hit 300 on the 10-game road trip. He was 0 for 1 last night as a pinch hitter. Taking strike one. 254 for Tucker. 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. He's worked his way into a very prominent role with his team. With 14 doubles, he ranks second among All-American League rookies. Shot to center field, back on it to Shields. DeShields makes a catch with his back to the plate. Very fine play for out number 1 on a ball that was smoked by Tucker.
I don't know that DeShields realized this ball was hit this well, but that what appeared to be back spinning laser to center field really pushed DeShields all the way as far as he could get.
Excellent play by the former second baseman. And Carlos Correa bats next. Correa, a .275 hitter, has 7 homers. He's driven in 20 runs. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Has the .500 slugging percentage. That's eye-popping for a rookie shortstop. And it's strike one to Correa. He is second among All-American League shortstops in homers. Marcus Semien of Oakland has 1 more than Correa, 8. In for a strike, and it's 0-2. Colby Lewis is 62 and 62 in his career.
I assume it's by design, but Carlos Correa has been taking a lot of strikes.
So what would be the design to that?
Well, in the last decade, a lot of talk about on base percentage, take as many pitches as possible. See, there's been a lot to hitters who see as many pitches as possible in any given at bat. So I don't know if that's what Carlos has as his intent at the plate. But again, he is taking a lot of strikes. And I wouldn't say they're like what you call tough pitches, where you always hear the commentary that, well, he's waiting until the one that he likes. I'd say that just appears to be taking strikes.
Evan Gattis is on deck. That's a ball, and it's 1-2. Colby Lewis is 35 years old. He was drafted by Texas after the first round with a supplemental pick in '99. It's his 3rd start of the year against the Astros. He got a no decision against them in Texas. Another throw to first. He beat them here May 6th. 8 innings, 1 run allowed in that game by Colby Lewis against Houston. He's from Bakersfield, California. Went to Bakersfield College. After beginning with the Rangers, he pitched for Detroit and Oakland. Then he went to Japan for 2 years and returned to the Rangers. Altuve takes off. Here's the throw from Chirinos, bouncing, and it gets away. Stolen base for Altuve, the American League leader, with 26 now.
Not an easy catcher to run on, and you can see Colby Lewis doing what he could do to cut down the chances of a stolen base. Quick little slide step to the plate. Altuve's tough to get even when you combine everything well.
That throw drilled him in the leg. He's at second now for Correa with a 2-2 count. Correa's driven in 20. Time is called. Last year, Colby Lewis lost 14 games. That was the top loss figure in the American League. Second baseman goes out. Odor into shallow right field, and he's called off by Chu. 2 down. Evan Gattis coming up next.
Anytime the infielder goes back, it's his ball until called off, and once called off by an outfielder, it is absolutely his ball.
Evan Gattis has a shot at RBI number 55 right here. He has 15 homers with his 54 runs batted in. Carrying carrying a .244 batting average, and he's been the top run producer in the American League since the 3rd week in April. After a terrible start, he's driven in 53 runs since April 26th. And he's hit .268 in that span of time. There's ball 1. Gaddis has been taking advantage of the whole field as he's driven in those runs. And several of them have come in situations like this. 2 outs, runner at second. He's 2 for 6 lifetime against Lewis. In the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Lewis, being an 8-game winner, has lost 4, and batting average against him .269. But when he's pitching against the Astros, he seems to be at his very best. Altuve's keeping an eye on Rougned Odor. Swinging at that slider, Gaddis goes to a 2-1 count now.
That was your basic 2-0. I'm going to get a fastball and crush it, and then just start the batter early on that slider. Couldn't hold back. Going to start. Just not going to happen there.
Sometimes a hitter's lucky when he swings and misses.
Yes.
3 balls and a strike.
You know, it's hard to explain. You say, well, okay, now I'm going to, on the 2-0, get a fastball and crush it. What that means is your dial is turned up to fastball speed, and when you get that slider, it looks like a fastball to begin with, but you're swinging at the speed of the fastball.
So rather than make weak contact and make an out, it's just a strike. And now 3-1. Now Buena's on deck. In the air, and first baseman Moreland comes over near the Astros dugout to take care of out number 3. No runs ahead, and the runner stranded in scoring position. No score after 1. Colin McHugh was able to make the tough pitches when he needed to, surrendering 11 hits but 1 run in 6 innings. He did not walk anybody, moved the ball around, and the noteworthy stat of the night for Colin McHugh is all 11 hits he allowed were singles, and he got those key outs with men in scoring position, and then got relief help from Harris, Neshek, and Gregerson. Final out of the game, very hard hit to Correa, and the Astros won it 3-2. Josh Hamilton leads it off in the 2nd inning. There's strike 1 to Hamilton. 222 for Josh. 2 homers, 6 runs batted in.
But also in replaying that night last night, you can't overstate the importance of the throw by Jake Marisnick, getting a key out in the 1st inning, a man trying to stretch.
0-2 to Hamilton. He was 0 for 4 last night. That was a superb defensive game for the Astros last night. Curveball bounces 1 and 2. The defensive aspect of this team sometimes does not get the proper attention.
Fielding percentage wise in the American League, the Astros are ranked 2nd. So they're right up there at the top.
Oh, what a beauty. Striking out Hamilton. First strikeout for Feldman.
And now look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. Let's take a peek. Boy, that's right through the chute, but taking enough off on that changeup. So many times hitters are simply swinging at the arm speed.
Well, we get stats every day on the starting pitchers, and those stats indicated that he's thrown his change 3% of the time this year. Elvis Andrus on a 4-game hitting streak, looks at strike 1. 245 for Andrus, 3 homers, 30 runs batted in. Elvis 2 for 4 last night. He had an RBI double in the 8th inning last night. Feldman is the type of pitcher, as he throws a strike, to go 0-2, who on the fastball sometimes needs to be so precise that the mix of his other pitches becomes extremely important.
With any pitcher who's not overpowering, that command, the mix, like you talk about speeds, crucial.
Altuve barehanding off the glove of Feldman. Magnificent play. Out number 2. He came a long way to get to that baseball.
It's really tough on infielders too when the pitcher makes contact. You see that Altuve was fairly frozen up until that moment that he could read where the baseball was going to go, and then comes up with a gem.
Just nipping Andrus for out number 2. 6 of 7 first pitch strikes for Feldman. That's a gem. And now it's Shin-Soo Choo. Choo with a disappointing year. Was not in the starting lineup last night. He's hitting .221. Out to center field, and that is in for a looping single. Marisnick gives himself a chance by hustling, but it wasn't a dive type situation for him. With 2 outs, nobody on. It's a single in front of him, and hit number 2 for the Rangers.
Yeah, I like your comment, Bronny, about Marisnick giving himself a chance. He really was on the sprint right there. Instant reaction, and if he was going to have a chance, he gave it to himself.
Robinson Chirinos at .215 with 8 homers, has 27 runs batted in. He was 1 for 4 last night. How about that photo of him up on El Grande right now with the long hair?
Good look. There was a rock band somewhere at that time that would have used that look, whether he could sing or not.
Remind you of anybody?
Boy, I don't want to touch that one. Rick James is the answer, maybe. Certainly no chance I'm going to give you a female name.
He wasn't a member of the band the Cowsills, was he?
Now they declined his talents.
1 ball, 1 strike. Feldman last year threw 180 innings for the Astros, going 8-12 with a 3.74 ERA. There's been so much trade speculation already, with still a couple of weeks to go till the trade deadline, but Scott Feldman returning is a major acquisition, if you want to think of it that way, for the Astros in their rotation. Foul back in a time when the Astros have seen great contributions from Lance McCullers and Vince Velasquez, who's now in the minor leagues, but there are concerns about the innings they may be allowed to pitch from now on out. Feldman gives the rotation a fresh arm, who has compiled 60 innings of work coming into this game. Bouncer left side. Valbuena. And he got it on a strong throw in time to Altuve. No runs ahead, and the man left, no score.
No score between the Astros and Rangers. Hey, you can celebrate Craig Biggio at the Biggio Hall of Fame weekend presented by Coca-Cola from July 31st to August 2nd. On Saturday, August 1st, 10,000 fans will receive a Craig Biggio replica pinstripe jersey. For more information, go to Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS today. Biggio's big day is quickly approaching, guys, and Kevin Eschenfelder will be up there to cover the whole thing for Root Sports.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Bart. There's strike one on the foul ball to Luis Valbuena, who leads the club in homers with 19. He's driven in 36 with a 199 average. Valbuena's 29. It's a shot on the ground. Moreland is there. Takes it unassisted. One out. It'll be Colby Rasmus coming up.
This is a look at our Super Bowl presented by Mattress Firm. I like that when a first baseman decides to immediately sprint it toward the bag, not use the pitcher every time he comes over.
Rasmus, who played a good brand of right field last night, has driven in 29 with 11 homers. Colby's hit .233. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Looking at ball one. Colby has good career numbers against Lewis. 5 for 12 with a homer. Colby versus Colby here.
Don't say that very often in this game.
Are there other players named Colby in the major leagues right now? Can't think of any.
Can't think of any at all. Yeah, that's a nice look on Mr. Rasmus.
Thought he had curly hair.
No, I'm not sure that's the case. I think it goes on and off, Mr. Axl Rose.
2 balls in the strike. And that is in for a strike. 2-2. Colby Lewis does tend to shoot for those corners against left-handed batters. They're a little bit more effective against him with a .276 batting average. He pops the fastball upstairs, and that goes Colby's way. Rasmus's, that is. It's 3-2. That's what he frequently does as well. Colby Lewis throws the tempting fastball a little bit out of the zone.
Bat starts. Nice job by Colby. That's that angle's tough to tell on, but it looked like he held it back.
the air behind second. Andrews. 2 outs. Hank Conger will follow. George Springer brought out the lineup card tonight. And that is a flashback perhaps for some fans to last year when George had a big game wearing the rainbow uniforms that made the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Boy, did he ever. Is he qualified to carry the card out there?
He's very qualified. He's almost overqualified.
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
Loves his music too. And Conger. These shots on the scoreboard are beauties, aren't they? There's ball 1 on the curve. Conger at 232 with 5 homers, has 12 runs batted in.
Hank's scaring me a bit right now.
That's a nice dude.
Good changeup. David Spade as Joe Dirt.
Can you imagine a guy putting on the catching gear with hair that length? 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Dave Duncan once had a pretty good do or don't going on.
Ted Simmons grew it pretty long.
Yes, he did.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, last night, lefty Martin Perez returned to the Rangers rotation. He went 5 innings in his first start of 2015. This is the 19th start for Colby Lewis. Tomorrow, Giovanni Gallardo starts for them. He was their opening day man. And the Astros opening day man, Dallas Keuchel, will tee it up against him tomorrow at 110. Dallas is back in the ERA lead in the American League. Sonny Gray was touched up last night and fell out of the top spot. In 13 today, the Royals down the White Sox 7-6. Lorenzo Cain hit his 9th homer in the 13th. That's a punch out, number 1 for Lewis, and it's scoreless after 2. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Keuchel's Corner is a new dedicated section for fans to show their support for our bearded pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. Every time he takes the mound, join us tomorrow for the All-Star edition of Keuchel's Corner to celebrate his participation in the 2015 All-Star Game. Visit Astros.com/Keuchel's Corner for more information.
That's been a nice trend here at this ballpark, growing in popularity with the fans down the left field line. We'll see that tomorrow. Delino DeShields opened the game with a walk. And bounces this one out the left field line into the corner. DeShields will easily get a double on this with his speed. Tucker over to dig it out. DeShields spins, slides on a knee, and goes back into second with a leadoff double here in the third.
Just a wide open slot down that third base line, and DeShields with his speed has an easy double. He was thinking possible 3 there for a moment, and I don't know if we get a shot of him coming around the bag at second base, but he's quite an athlete, and you could really see it on display as he was considering the possibility of the extra base. Look how athletically he maintains control there and gets back to the bag.
Rougned Odor is bunting and fouling at strike one. Interesting that he did that, because there's a book being written on the late Ken Caminetti, and we were having a conversation about him a few days ago, and that's the way Ken used to stop quickly on a play like that. He would give himself the opportunity to advance to the next base, but then when he needed to stop quickly and get back, he would slide that way. That's bunted foul third base side, and I really thought it was going to be a trend among base runners, but it's seldom been seen since then, and DeShields just did it.
Well, a number have tried and many have failed, but yeah, there's probably a little misfooting going around the bag there, but usually when you make a mistake at high speed, it results in something not quite that pretty.
First time I saw Cammy do it, though, I thought, well, this is really brilliant. And that was back in the days of artificial turf. But he would round first and really be going all out, and then make sure the play was made properly, and we'll say right center field, and then decide he couldn't make it, so he'd do that pop-up slide right in the base path and get back to first. That's the quickest way to stop. 1 and 2.
Yeah, and it's the quickest way to create mistakes by the outfielders when you put that kind of pressure on them. I guess that's one of the looks of the 80s. At the plate, you see another one of the primary looks of the 80s with the Sox.
That's a shot to right field. That's a 2-run homer. Rougned Odor, upper deck. 2-0 Rangers. That's number 5 of the season for Odor. That's his 4th career homer against the Astros.
Yeah, that off-speed pitch didn't hang around long. Might have been the straight change. Odor showed that kind of pop here last year as well.
Yeah, we have seen that before.
He's got this thing sized up very well. Little man, big pop.
Very well hit ball. Now it's Fielder in for strike one. Fielder popped to short in the first inning. Well, the Rangers have scored 2 runs on 4 hits. Last night they had 2 runs on 15 hits. A rare game. That's to shallow left field. A long run for Tucker. Balbuena tries over the shoulder. Can't get there. And it's a looping opposite field single for Fielder. 3 straight hits for the Rangers here in the third.
Well, Fielder probably deserved that little flare down the left field side. He's hit some balls sharply for outs. Right off the end of the bat. And I think Prince Fielder knew he had a knock, or at least a good shot at one, as soon as this came off the bat.
Adrian Beltre steps up. He bounced into a force play earlier. And it's ball 1. The last time a team did what the Rangers did last night, got 15 hits and scored only 2 runs in a 9-inning game, was back in April of 2004. That's how rare that was. 2 balls, no strikes. The Rangers 11-24 within their division. There's Dave Magadan closest to the camera, the hitting coach. Steve Buechele On the other side of him, the bench coach. Rangers now have lost 9 straight within the American League West. And that will go to the seats in foul ground. 2-1 to Beltre. Currently, they're 7 games behind the front-running Angels as Jeff Bannister, the native of this area, comes back home. Formerly the bench coach for the Pirates. Yu Darvish is out for this season. Derek Holland has been out most of the season, trying to work his way back again. Those are 2 mainstays in the Rangers rotation. Big cut by Beltre. It's 2-2, and then Beltre's had his injury.
Jurickson Profar expected out for the entire season. Come on, Adrian, let it fly.
Yeah, if the question had come up for Jeff Bannister in spring training, well, July 18th, you've had 1 start from Holland and Darvish combined. You're 5 under 500. He might have said, well, we've hung in pretty well. But of course, the Rangers, and Jeff has said this, feel that they are a part of the mix, but they know there's some urgency to what's happening here with that 2-9 record in July and trailing by 7 games. There's always the wild card to shoot for, especially with the second wild card. But it's getting late even to entertain strong thoughts of that for teams 5 games under 500. Rangers were within 2.5 of first place for 11 of 12 days in mid-June. But then they've lost 4.5 in the standings since then.
And the Astros were rolling at the time. They were just that team that was keeping pace.
True. The Rangers lead in the season series 4-3 against the Astros. And the Rangers are 3-1 in this ballpark. Love by Altuve on the line drive for out number 1.
Find yourself looking at Astros players in these unis, the rainbows, and attributing names of the past to the guys you're looking at?
A little bit. Billy Doran?
Yeah, and I'm not sure that Altuve was setting up Billy Doran for me, but just looking around the field, I'm thinking I'm seeing Jose Cruz out in left field and different stuff. And
yeah.
Something about the unis. I don't know who that first baseman is. Maybe I'll go with John Singleton.
That's Dave Bergman.
Yeah, it could be.
Cesar Cedeno in center. Terry Poole in right. Mitch Moreland grounded out earlier. There's ball 1. For a time there in the 70s, the Astros wore this uniform home and road.
Yeah, there was no need to distinguish yourself on the road with a gray uniform. This one did it pretty well.
Very easy for Dennis Laborio to pack those uniforms at the time, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Moreland cranks one up the right field line. That hooks and goes foul. Well hit ball.
I would say for the moment it appears Rangers hitters are sitting on off speed. That was the curveball, the slow curve. Changeup has been hammered in the inning. And it's hard when you're not overpowering. You're always trying to keep guys juggling what they think is coming to the plate, but you still have to establish something hard in usually.
In the air, and the left fielder Tucker comes over toward the line. And fans wind up with that one. 1-2.
So right on cue, that was the fastball up and in. And it's easy to spot on the field that guys are sitting on you. So you just have to cross that up a bit and then set up your off-speed pitches.
Feldman's 3-3 lifetime against the Rangers with a 3.88 ERA. Out into center field, Marisnick backing on it, and And with the retreating grab. 2 outs.
Well, Jake Marisnick can go with anybody out there. He gets back to make the play. I'm wondering, with this start time at 6:10, with the sun rays coming in from the left field side and crossing in front of home plate out toward the mound, if there's been any difficulty for guys picking up the baseball. The Rangers bats say that's a fallacy.
True. Josh Hamilton takes strike 1. He struck out in the second. It looks like the right fielder, Colby Rasmus, had the biggest challenge when this game began in terms of looking into the sun. He's in a little patch of shade right now. In tight, and it's 1-1. The rainbow jerseys were worn for every game from 75 through 79, and for home games in the Astrodome from 80 through 86. Hamilton's out in front, 1-2. Then they wore the orange cap with the rainbows from 75 through 82.
Now here's effective use of the slow curveball despite its location.
Conger blocks that one. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we're advised that this combo the Astros are wearing tonight with the uniform and the cap would fit in the 1980 and 81 range. The era of Alan Ashby.
Yeah, I don't ever recall hearing it stated as such, but it's a gem of a uni, isn't it?
Rock him out. 2 runs, 3 hits, and a man left. That's strikeout number 2, and it's 2-0.
Franchise 4 as voted by the fans and revealed during the All-Star game. I don't think many people would be wrong in guessing the Astros overcame an 11-0 deficit by scoring 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 11 runs in the 6th inning of a 15-12 win over the Cardinals. Mike Felder had the 2-run triple to tie it, and then Kevin Bass had the RBI hit to put the Astros ahead. Fun-did history. Hear the names every once in a while. It brings back memories, I think, to many of us.
John Singleton leads it off, and that one off the glove of Odor. A line drive will get him aboard. A hard hit ball. Odor got his glove on it, but it's a hit for Singleton.
I doubt that Odor thought he was going to miss this ball. Get a good look at Big John, and good looking at that right there. Take him when you can get him. I think that caught a lot of glove.
Singleton was 1 for 3 with a walk last night, coming off the bench for the injured Chris Carter. Now it's Jake Marisnick batting. Bunting and missing. There's strike one. Marisnick had a double and scored a run last night. 1 for 2 with a sac bunt. And looked like he was trying to push that bunt the way he did last night. 241, 5 homers, 21 runs batted in.
I find myself just rooting for Jake Marisnick with the bat. He is almost indispensable defensively.
He really is. Had a torrid month of April hitting. Has really tailed off since then. But his defensive value is so great that he still makes his way into the lineup on a regular basis.
And when you see him at his best offensively, you know what's in there, or some version thereof, but got plenty of pop.
Singleton draws the throw.
Get him on the bases. He runs extremely well.
In the air, the center fielder DeShields comes over toward right center. That's one out. Altuve will follow. I had a real scare last night, Ash, leaving the ballpark.
How so?
In that tunnel we walked through.
Yeah.
There was a young guy. He looked like Jose Altuve facially. And he had an all-star jersey with Altuve on it. And he was coming down the hallway with crutches.
Oh, dear.
And I thought maybe I had missed something during that day. It was, in fact, Jose's brother.
Really?
Yeah, who sprained his ankle playing basketball, I was told by Jose today.
He wasn't playing soccer with Rory McIlroy.
That's outside, ball one. Altuve singled to center on a 1-2 count earlier.
Well, I'm glad that was a one of those mistaken moments.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you can sit through an event for 3 or 4 hours and think you saw everything, and then you realize
that happened in that game. Really?
Wait a minute, he sprained his ankle and we missed that.
And I thought that was Chris Carter. You know, you would think I would have been able to tell the difference between the two.
2 balls and no strikes. Chris Carter, by the way, feeling a lot better today, and he thinks that after a couple of more days, the swelling will go down on that right ankle. He has not been placed on the disabled list. And for a strike, 2-1.
That was kind of intriguing. The little jump by Altuve tells me that even before that pitch was called a strike, he knew he let one go that he would have liked to have had back. Maybe he can get it.
Double play depth for Andrus and Odor. And the ball's in the air outside the right field line. Moreland sprinting over, and it's out of play. Sellout crowd tonight at Minute Maid Park.
Altuve's brother, the same height and all?
Yeah, they look real close anyway.
I wonder if he can play.
Well, we'll find out when he gets off those crutches. Great night for baseball here with this sellout crowd. Wanting Altuve to get the energy level up a little bit higher right now. The Astros and the Astros Foundation are hosting over 300 military members and their families. They had a pregame on-field official deployment ceremony for Texas National Guard Unit 136. Pitch up and in. 3-2. They had the huge flag out on the field. This is the first deployment ceremony in Texas to take place at a major sporting event. Texas National Guard 136th Expeditionary Signal Battalion. So a lot of military folks here. American flag and ceremonies on the field. And that's into that crowd. Still 3-2. And behind each seat in the ballpark is a patriotic display. It was good to see that adorning the park as we came in today.
You can never have too many Nolan Ryans around. That's what I always say.
Well, it's a good thing he's around for this series. We've been missing him. And next weekend he'll be away at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Only his second trip back, we were told, since he was inducted in '99. Runner going, and there's a shot on the ground. Diving, what a play there, and safe at second, but out at first. Now Singleton's leaving the base, and he now gets back. But he had been called safe at second on the diving stop by Andrus with the toss to Odor. However, Altuve was out at first.
I didn't see Altuve coming out of the box, but I would say normally on a play that sets up like this, he would beat it. That play took a little while. And usually if an infielder comes in on a slow roller, Altuve's got it beaten. John should know he's safe there and never walk off the bag.
Walked off a step or two and then realized he had not been called out. Could have been tagged out, but the Rangers didn't get the ball to second in time to do that. And now it's Preston Tucker. Tucker smacked a line drive caught by DeShields in center field in the first inning. And a breaking pitch comes down and in, ball one.
I would add on that play at second base, you never walk off the bag without checking with the umpire first. Kind of mistake you just can't make.
Things come under a lot more scrutiny, of course, for Astros fans and all of us in a season like this, when each game has much more importance than the games of the last few years in July. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Preston would like to have that changeup back.
Phillies lead the Marlins 3-0, bottom of the 4th in Philadelphia. With Chad Billingsley working the shutout against Tom Kohler. Now 2 balls and a strike. Baltimore leads 1-0 in Detroit. They're in the middle of the 3rd inning. Bud Norris is in the bullpen now for the Orioles. Chris Tillman starting tonight, and Manny Machado has hit his 20th home run off David Price. Good cut there, 2-2.
Big time swing by Preston. And you mentioned Manny Machado. How about that comeback after what looked like a career that could have been ruined by injury? Wow. Keep swinging it like that.
Yep. It was a good looking pass with the bat.
I find myself when I see Preston at the plate, that solid compact body. Is that a bit of a Duke Snyder look at the plate once upon a time?
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes. One of your teammates was quite a hitter from the left side, especially in the clutch. Pinch hitter Denny Walling.
Yeah, once you said pinch hitter there was no mistaking.
Preston's hit a couple of pinch hit homers.
Denny Walling, the Clemson Comet.
And a strikeout for Lewis. Ends it in the Astros' 3rd. No runs a hit. A man stranded. 2-0 Rangers.
It's the Red Sox in a 3-game series, July 21st to the 23rd. July 22nd, the middle game of that series is also $1 Hot Dog Wednesday, presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. You don't want to miss that. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or go to astros.com. As far as the pitching rotation for that Red Sox series, guys, it looks like that Colin McHugh will throw on his normal rotation, which would be Wednesday. Lance McCullers probably go Thursday, which means that A.J. Hinch told us he will make a decision on who will get that start in Game 1. You know the usual candidates, Vince Velasquez, Brett Oberholzer, or Dan Straley, the most likely candidates to get that start in Game 1. Back up to you.
Thanks, Bart. Elvis Andrus takes strike one. He grounded out in the second inning. Vince Velasquez in the minor leagues right now. No balls, 2 strikes. The Astros making an effort to conserve innings for Vince. And we were hearing today that he's not pitching in games right now. He's working some bullpens just to keep his arm ready, but to try to avoid piling on too many innings, too many more than he had last year, and keep him in this pennant race as long as possible. 1-2. In the air, and now the third baseman Valbuena moves in toward the plate. That's one out. A reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, Feldman last year was strong in the second half, and the Astros would love to see Scott follow that kind of a trend. He had a 3.16 ERA after the All-Star break last season. Shin-Soo Choo singled to center field in the second inning. A player with a typically high career on base average has really been below that number. Now he bunts. Valbuena will not have a play. Choo has been on both times in this game. That's hit number 6. The Rangers have had hits in each inning so far.
It's kind of a freebie with that shift on. You do have the infielder, third baseman, playing in semi-close, but Choo takes perfect advantage.
He has not stolen a base this season. He's 0 for 1. Robinson Chirinos bats. He grounded into a force play in the second inning. Pirates lead at Milwaukee 3-2 over the Brewers. They're in the bottom of the third inning. Vance Worley going for Pittsburgh tonight. There's been some talk about the Brewers first baseman Adam Lind being a trade target for some teams, a potential free agent. I believe he has an option year for next year, right?
Yes. Yeah, and he good offensive year for the Brewers. Keep in mind that's a good offensive yard in Milwaukee, and it's always hard to size up what a guy might do for you, but he's been a good offensive player.
Runner going. Here's a throw by Conger. Safe. Stolen base for Choo, number 1 of the season.
Couldn't tell if there might have been a little extra beat before the throw from Conger. Can see Choo moving it into second base. That's a good throw, just not in time.
1-1 to Chirinos. Rangers have out hit the Astros 6-2. They've stranded 4. Houston has left 2. Adam Lind, by the way, is not in the lineup tonight for Milwaukee. Jonathan Lucroy is playing first. Now we'll get something started, right? 2-1. Well, it's, you know, July 18th with the trade deadline being the 31st.
You are the rumor starter.
That would be a little early for that sort of drama, right?
No, I can't say that after what I just heard from you.
Outside, and it's 3-1. Well, you know, the writers will have plenty to find available at their keyboards from now on out till the end of July. And they do keep us all entertained.
But Bill Brown wants more.
3-2. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be an active trading season?
There's been a lot of speculation that usually leads up to a lot of speculation.
Well,
I don't know. It's hard to say.
A whole lot of teams say they're looking for starting pitching. They can't all get it.
Name the last year when teams were not looking for starting pitching at the trade deadline.
17-22.
That might be the right year. Just prior to them forming the league, the National League at the time.
That's a 1-out walk. And it's number 2 of the night for Feldman. The Rangers trying to mount something here in the 4th inning, leading 2-0. We'll have DeShields batting. He has a walk and a double tonight. The Rangers, we mentioned, are 10th in runs scored. And they just really have not performed well at all with men in scoring position this year. .230 is their team batting average. And coming into last night, they were hitting .158 the previous 22 games with men in scoring position. That was for 146 at bats. The dirt for ball 1. Cubs 2, Braves nothing at the end of 4 in Atlanta. Now Brent Strom's coming out. It's John Lester on the mound for the Cubs. He's given up 1 hit and no runs in 4 against Manny Banuelos. That Cubs team is something to watch now for the end of the year, because the Cubs are now 6 games above 500 at 47 and 41. They have an emerging young team with players like Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Jorge Soler. Young catcher just came up. So they could really be making an impact on the race.
What's the status of Joey Votto in Cincinnati?
And as far as being available for a trade?
You know, you hear about Adam Lind, for example.
Yeah.
The Reds appear to be going nowhere.
I made a phone call and I was told Joey Votto's not going anywhere.
Oh.
There's strike 1.
The White House has information like that.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a White House in our neighborhood, I call.
Nice.
You know that white Texas stone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorgeous.
Drive by it all the time.
Feldman. Altuve high, comes down on the base and safe at first. Took a little too long because of that high throw to second. Otherwise, it would have been an inning-ending double play.
John Singleton is looking into the Astros dugout as if he, along with Altuve, believe that they got that double play. And I guess we will see what the Astros think if AJ comes out quickly. Let's see what we think. Now, that wasn't the best of throws, but Altuve makes the most of it. That's going to be a hard one to turn around.
It's close, but it looked like he beat it. So DeShields keeps the inning alive, just a fraction of a second ahead of that throw's arrival. He was there at first. Runners at first and third. He may be in the mood to run here with Odor the batter. Odor's 2 for 2 and 2-run homer. He's going. And no throw to second. Stolen base for DeShields. That's number 15 in 17 tries.
I think the book right now for opposing teams might be that they're going to run with Hank Conger behind the plate. He hasn't had great success throwing guys out, whereas Jason Castro has been extremely good in that regard.
Conger's 1 for 19. Popped up. Valbuena waiting. 2-ended, and Feldman keeps it close. No runs a hit. A couple of men left. 2-0 Texas. on a Saturday night in July in Houston, and the pennant race is here, and we've just fast forwarded compared to the last few years back into where the Astros want to be in that position. Alan Ashby, where we're the retro stuff tonight, flashing back to 1980, 81. What?
Yeah, you look good in that stuff,
well,
too, by the way.
Not as good as you look.
Please.
I found out your nickname when you played.
Yeah, this exposes none of that nickname, believe me.
But anyway, it's a fun night to commemorate with the older uniforms. Carlos Correa, the batter. And there's strike one. He hit a fly ball to right. And a good feel for this crowd to come in with the Astros 50-42. A year ago on this date, they were 40-57. 20.5 games out of first place.
Unanticipated, I think, on most radars. And yet, it's looked very real. And for my assessment, you need to get George Springer back as soon as possible. But the talent's here. This team can compete with any team in the league.
1 ball, 1 strike. Correa, Gaddis, Valbuena.
This guy has a lot to do with it for me. Difference maker at shortstop now.
Bounce foul. 1 and 2. We saw that last night.
Lance McCullers, another reason. I've liked what I've seen from Vince Velasquez. Need to see more, but his arm is legit. But there are some guys stepping up from the minor leagues right now that are the real deal. That guy, there's no question.
That's a strikeout on a foul tip. Strikeout number 3 for Lewis. Now McCullers 4-3 with a 2.52 ERA for his first 11 major league starts.
Carlos Correa goes down on strikes, and I don't think he's going to miss that pitch a good percentage of the time.
Evan Gaddis fouled out on a 3-1 pitch to the first baseman in the first inning. Gaddis got his 5th triple of the season last night. Strike 1 on a breaking ball. The last Astro to have 5 triples or more in a single season was Michael Bourne in 2011. 7.
Similar players, and you would expect the stats to be alike.
How about that look?
Once I catch my breath, I'll see if I can come up with a. Which Rambo movie did that come from?
0-2. The Indians lead at Cincinnati. It's 6-1. Cleveland. They're in the top of the 5th inning. Corey Kluber on the mound. And a strikeout. That's 4 for Lewis. He's doing his usual magic on the mound against the Astros.
You know, he's pitching well. I don't want to take anything away from a guy, but on this particular night, you'll see this pitch, though it's down around the knees, it finds a lot of plate. And the previous strikeout to Correa, fastball right there. It doesn't look like wizardry going on the hill right now.
Valbuena grounded to first in the 2nd inning. Just 2 singles for the Astros in this game. Curveball bouncing for ball 1. Cardinals 4, Mets nothing. Bottom of the 4th in St. Louis. They got 4 in the 1st off Bartolo Colon. John Lackey's pitching shutout ball tonight for the Redbirds. They're 57-33. They're 32-11 at home. 2 balls, no strikes. As good as the St. Louis Cardinals have been down through the years, that kind of a home record is something they have not had at this point of the season in many seasons. Foul ball takes the count to 2-1 on Valbuena. Valbuena recalled that when Colby Lewis pitched here earlier this season in April, he hit his first home run as an Astro off Lewis. That actually was in Texas. It was April 12th. A little bit better view from up higher. Foul the other way, and it's 2-2 to Luis Valbuena. Colby Rasmus on deck.
With that shot, they've got a Valbuena on the board. I'm looking for him to do a little fancy skateboarding or something.
With the beads. Yeah.
Little beatboxing.
Well, there's a lot of artistry required by the scoreboard crew to put together these shots. Really makes for a fun night. That one goes fouling out of play. Giants nothing, Diamondbacks nothing. They're in the top of the second in Arizona, where it rained inside the ballpark last night for some reason.
Condensation?
Yeah. Jake Peavy's pitching tonight for San Francisco. Arizona and the Giants on the Astros remaining schedule. That's a strikeout. He strikes out the side, giving him 5 in the game, and through 4, it's the usual untouchable Lewis against the Astros, 2-0. Local Honda dealer, and the Honda dealer shows us a 2-time All-Star who later became the GM for 2 different teams. He once raced Dave Concepcion for 1 million Tootsie Rolls. You can tweet your answer to @AlCadash or @BrownieTW.
1 million Tootsie Rolls.
Yes.
I apparently have forgotten that. If you hadn't set this up in this whole concept, I would have said it was some horse somewhere. So I'm going to stay away from the horse guess.
Dave Concepcion did race a lot of horses.
Yeah.
Happy 98th birthday to Grandpa Castro. 98. Prince Fielder looks at strike 1, leading off the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Scott Feldman, with his club having been shackled on just 2 singles through the first 4, trying to keep it close here. He's given up 6 hits. 2 of those infield hits. That one slowed down. Altuve backhands, jumps, throws, and gets Fielder. Marvelous play by Altuve. Feldman slowed it down for him a little.
Play a little D for me. Nice job. I thought Jose might try to plant with it being Fielder going down the line, but he just styled the whole thing.
He went Derek Jeter.
He did. Look what it got Jeter. Maybe that's a good thing, I guess, huh?
Adrian Beltre is 0 for 2. There's ball 1. Jeter just kind of taking the year off, do you think?
I have a feeling he's taken the rest of his life off of the game.
Okay.
Sounds like he hasn't even had any real need to get out to the ballpark and hobnob with folks.
That's out toward right center field. Rasmus back. Beltre retired. 2 down for Feldman. And it's Moreland next. Moreland's 0 for 2. Another very warm day outside. Dodgers beat the Nationals 4-2. They had to complete a suspended game from yesterday with problems with the lights, having suspended that one. Clayton Kershaw went 8 innings of 3-hit shutout ball. No walks, 14 strikeouts. He's 7-6 with a 2.68 ERA.
That's a hard one to explain.
Boy,
First place Dodgers, and Clayton Kershaw with that ERA is 7-6.
That's crazy. Bryce Harper hit his 27th homer. It came off Kenley Jansen, the Dodger closer, in the 9th. Harper's had a big year. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then Washington got even by taking game 2, 5-3 of the Dodgers. Those two teams could be providing a playoff preview with that series.
So if you were looking for the face of baseball today and for the future.
This ball stays fair for Conger, and Conger gets it to Singleton for out number 3. We'll get to that in the bottom of the 5th with the score 2-0 Rangers. Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Two-0 ball game. The Rangers lead it. And Colby Lewis, as usual, is doing a number on the Astros hitters. He's given up just 2 hits and only those 2 base runners through the first 4. Colby Rasmus leads it off in the 5th. And there's ball 1 to him. Another close fastball. This time Rasmus getting ahead in the count by discerning that that pitch was not one he should swing at. We're getting all kinds of Twitter remarks. There's a line shot. That's caught by Odor this time. 1 out. That's scalded by Rasmus.
Pure scald right there. Yeah, the Twitter comments seem to be pretty consistent, at least from what I'm seeing.
Susan Pittman got the answer. Greg Thurston got it right. So did Joe Montalbano and Randy Cunningham. By the way, people on Twitter want to know where they can get these polos that we're wearing. Right here at the ballpark at the team stores. Hank Conger struck out in the 2nd. High to right field. Chu is on the track. 2 outs. And Singleton bats next.
Like Josh Hamilton last night, just getting under did Hank Conger, and came up a bit shy. Some nights here, it feels like those fly balls will carry out, but the last couple of nights stayed in play.
Open that roof and they'll carry out.
Yeah, it seems to be.
On second thought.
Yeah, keep it this way.
Singleton hit the line drive, and Odor couldn't hold on to it. It went as a single back in the third inning. There's a strike to John. Well, we had a guess on that question. And the guess is Shoeless Joe. Ash, what do you think about
Shoeless Joe for the
Joe beat Concepcion? There's a liner to right field. Chu coming in. And it's a quick fifth inning for Colby Lewis. He's retired 9 in a row now. It is 2-0. As these fans dance it off here at Minute Maid Park tonight on a retro night. Our Geico quote of the day is coming your way now. A.J. Hinch on last night's game. That was incredible to have that many hits, 15 of them, and not create any runs for them. They had 2 runs. That wasn't your typical 3-2 game.
They play a little timely defense and maybe some mistakes made by the other side. Unusual night, no doubt about it. Game of inches at times. This may be a game of feet right there, but nice W for the team.
That's ball 1 on a changeup to Josh Hamilton. He struck out both times tonight. He's seen a lot of off-speed stuff. He's seen more slop than they have at a Cincinnati chili parlor.
Oh my.
1 ball, 1 strike.
What's that called? The
well, there are several of them. One of them is Skyline Chili.
Skyline Chili, that's it.
There's Gold Star Chili.
I had my favorite meal with Mike Scott there one time, and I wasn't raving about it.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, but you know what? Mike was the one that was just complaining his head off. And then I said, you know what? I think I'm done with mine. And he immediately didn't miss a beat. Can I have it? So he downed his and mine, and
he was trying to acquire that taste. Yep. Liner right field corner in for a hit. Hamilton will go for second. Rasmus with the throw, and he has a double. His 5th of the year.
Yeah, I guess that's what you get with Josh Hamilton these days. A lot of maybe frustrating at bats, a lot of strikeouts, but he's still got that very dangerous hack that he employs here. Just be glad he didn't get it up.
Leadoff double for Hamilton. Hit number 7 for Texas. Elvis Andrus follows. He's 0 for 2. The Rangers have hits in 5 of the 6 innings. Bunting in the air, and Feldman will pick it up off the ground and get the out at first, but it goes as a sacrifice for Andrews from 1-3.
Well, the Texas Rangers showing a willingness, maybe a desire to lay down a number of bunts. And it is a different looking offense than through the big years that you would expect from the Rangers.
Hamilton seemed to read that pretty well. The bunt was popped up but not that high, and he took off for third. Sometimes the runner at second in that instance has to freeze. Now the infield comes in, and Chu is 2 for 2. He bunted his way aboard in the 4th inning. It's way upstairs for ball 1. Some people think with the infield in, that would not be a squeeze bunt type opportunity. That really is not going to stop a perfectly executed squeeze bunt.
If you do it right offensively, there's not much you can do other than on a bad bunt.
Now 2-0. What do you make of that one?
I got a little Rick Moranis and Spaceballs. I got that fed to me. Guys in the truck are all over this stuff.
And tied now 3-0 to Chu with Chirinos on deck. Chu signed a long-term deal, 7 years, $130 million to join the Rangers as a free agent after having a nice year for Cincinnati. He has not paid off so far. This is the 2nd year of that. In for a strike.
I think, frankly, he hasn't been the outfielder defensively the Rangers anticipated they were getting, and offensively hasn't performed up to the level that they saw while with Cincinnati.
Tony Sipp's working in the Astros bullpen. 84 pitches for Feldman. In the air to right, that's deep enough to get the runner home. Rasmus with the catch. And he tries the long throw and makes a good one, but Hamilton scores on a sac fly. Chu gets his 39th run batted in and makes it 3-0 Texas. Got a throw from Rasmus.
That's the one time when you can go ahead and launch a throw to the plate. Nobody else to move up. So you take your best shot, and that's exactly what Colby does here. Pull the pin, let the grenade go.
Double, sac bunt, sac fly. And 3-0 Texas with Chirinos batting now. Chirinos 0 for 1 with a walk. That's 1980s style Astros baseball. I don't know what style of baseball the Rangers played in the 80s. Do you?
In the 80s, that would have been back at the old ballpark.
Yeah.
Out in the sun, in the heat. It was survival baseball.
Wait for Jeff Burrows to hit a 3-run homer to right center.
Pretty much the story, I guess. Tom Grieve was playing in those days.
Yes. The old maestro. There's a shot to left field, and that one is going to reach the seats. 4-0 Rangers on a Chirinos homer, his 9th of the year.
Well, Scott Feldman had a chance to take a quality start out with him tonight, just whatever the outcome might be, but that's gone now. Now the Astros bats are going to have to do some serious work. And that's what you hope to do when a pitch finds a good portion of the wide of the plate.
DeShields is the batter, showing bunt, taking ball 1. Been on twice with a walk and a double. Tony Sipp working in the pen. It's 2-0. Ball makes it 2-1. Prior to last night's game, in other words at the All-Star break, Dallas Keuchel's ERA was 2.23. The other starting pitchers on the Astros staff, 4.62 collectively.
Sounds like Dallas and the other guys.
It's 3-1. Those numbers can be a little squirrely sometimes.
Well, you can certainly point out that Lance McCullers has been far better than the other guys.
Yeah. Line shot into right field. DeShields doing a number on the Astros tonight. He's on for the third time. Odor will follow. And A.J. Hinch may want to make this move right now with lefty on lefty. His thought as Tony Sipp comes in to face Odor. Feldman with 92 pitches has thrown 59 strikes. And in his return to the rotation, kept it close at 2-0 until this inning. And now as the change is made, it's 4-0 Texas. Back in a moment. Face lefty hitting Odor, and then Fielder would be next. Sipp this season is 2-4 with a 3.06 ERA. In 36 games, lefties are hitting 196 against Tony with 1 homer.
Always a key when you're a left-handed guy in the bullpen. Get those lefties out. And Tony's done a nice job against the righties as well. Stay away from that long ball with those right-hand hitters at the plate.
Last outing was last Saturday at Tampa Bay. Worked 1/3 of an inning, allowing no hits, no runs. As Tony takes over, he inherits this runner at first to Shields. And Odor is the batter. He got an infield hit in the first, ripped a 2-run homer to the second deck in right field in the third, and popped the third. Valbuena's at the edge of the grass. 4-9-0 for Texas, 0-2-0 for Houston. And the throw goes over. It's time for the Yellowwood bringing the lumber. And there you see that 2-run shot by Odor, and he immediately broke into the home run trot.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that shot. He certainly brought some lumber.
Leans back from ball 1. Tony Sipp has stranded 12 of his 16 inherited runners this year. A little roller back to him, and he throws to Singleton to end the top of the 6th. 2 runs scoring on 3 hits with a man left. 4-0 Texas.
Tonight here at Minute Maid Park for the military, we have over 300 members of the military who are about to be deployed for their training and then their further deployment. But we had a little ceremony before the game. But part of that, we also have a retirement ceremony for Sergeant Major Russell Bunger. Congratulations.
Thank you.
30 years of service in the United States Army. What was the highlight of your career there?
It's all been highlights. One right after another. It's been a privilege and an honor to have served, and I look back at every day and relish them all.
So how neat is it for you to have your retirement party as part of the deployment ceremony here?
Great honor to send a unit off and to be part of that. Privilege and an honor. Great place to have had it.
Yeah.
Thank the Astros organization and thank the fans for being a part of it.
We thank you for your service as well, sir.
Thank you.
And for that, you are the Progressive Insurance fan of the game.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Bart, we appreciate that. Marisnik fouls it back. And Jake with a 1-2 count, leading it off here in the 6th inning with the Astros trailing 4-0. They've been out hit 9-2. Colby Lewis in command tonight. And fouled away by Jake. The Astros want to try to circle some problems around Mr. Lewis and cause a move to the bullpen here, but he is bearing down for win number 9 of the season. Trying to go a game above 500 for his career tonight. And he gets a punch out. That's number 6.
Never bothered coming in at all on Jake. Some breaking balls away and then comes back with the heater to get it. Now it's time to take a look at the Whataburger What a Play. It involved Mr. Jose Altuve after a little tip flip from the mound. Scott Feldman gets a piece and sets up a tough play, but who's running for a tough play any more so than Jose Altuve? He makes a gem here.
Altuve got a hit in the 1st inning, and he grounded out in the 3rd. That's ball 1 to him. Rangers have really pitched well against the Astros this season. The Astros are averaging 3 runs per game. That's outside the left field line. That might hit the roof. Above foul territory. It's back in the seats.
It's like the trees at the golf course. 90% error, they tell you. Somehow it got through.
She is awfully happy it did. Preston Tucker's on deck. Red Sox and the Halos play in Anaheim later tonight. It's Rick Porcello for Boston, Garrett Richards for the Angels. And they won 1-0 on a walk-off homer by Mike Trout last night. Fly ball to right field. Chu comes in a few steps. 2 outs. C.J. Wilson was brilliant last night against Boston.
You know it as a hitter when you didn't hit a pitch that you wanted. Jose kind of knew it. By the way, you were talking about Mike Trout, and I had mentioned a couple of innings ago some of the young faces of Major League Baseball. They are right at the top of the home run lists around Major League Baseball. Mike Trout in the American, Bryce Harper and Giancarlo Stanton in the National League. 27 home runs for all of those guys. So some of the youngsters really doing well.
Tucker with a ground ball, a smash. There's a dive. Moreland with the toss. Out at first, and the Rangers get a spectacular play from Mitch Moreland from 3-1. That's 12 straight retired by Colby Lewis. 4-0 Texas. dealer. Who am I? With the Astros from 66 through 79, a two-time All-Star. Once raced Dave Concepcion for 1 million Tootsie Rolls. Later became the GM for two different teams. Paul Ray Heinrich got it. Bob Watson. And that was for the 1 millionth run scored in Major League Baseball history.
What was that race about? Was that Concepcion contending that he was the guy that actually scored the millionth run?
Well, yes. Concepcion had hit a homer and was racing around the bases. Watson was a base runner at second when Milt May hit a home run, and he was trotting home. And then the guys in the bullpen, when you guys were in San Francisco, or those guys were in San Francisco, were yelling at him, "Run!" And he realized then, oh yeah, I've got to touch home plate for this 1 millionth run, and he sprinted home.
It's good to have motivation to score a run.
Fielder fouls it. There's strike one for Tony Sipp. Scott Feldman in 5 2/3 innings allowed 9 hits, 4 runs, walking 2, fanning 2.
So the Bull decided he would just go ahead and pay off David Concepcion with Tootsie Rolls and do a good thing.
Well, he donated the Tootsie Rolls to the Boys and Girls Clubs because he didn't want to eat all that chocolate. His kids, I think one of them, Keith, I believe, was allergic to chocolate. And now, ironically, Kelly, his daughter, later started a candy company.
Everything non-chocolate.
Yeah. 1-1 to count. Big cut, 1-2. Do you have any recollection of that, the year?
I was in Cleveland at the time.
Okay.
And it seemed to me like one of our guys scored a run that might have factored in there at the time.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I think it was 74.
74, yeah, that sounds about right.
And they had the countdown on all the Major League scoreboards, so everybody knew, okay, we're at 999, 999. Next run wins it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I'm not sure in Cleveland we had a scoreboard that was capable of that sort of information, but
you had the drummer though there.
Yeah, we did, and he was trying to send the info out.
He could have done it by Morse code, actually.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of questioning as to who actually hit the plate first, but apparently Major League Baseball had it scouted out.
Mark Sackler was the man who came up with that promotion, and Tootsie Roll got involved as the sponsor. Mark Sackler did the research on how many runs had been scored in baseball history, and so the award was made. Bob Watson was the winner, and he gave some of the money to charity and that sort of thing. It was a really interesting promotion that year. Years later, it was discovered that there had been a mistake made, and that really was not the 1 millionth run.
Oh no! Did he have to give the trophy back?
No.
Tootsie Rolls apparently were all consumed by that point.
41,941 the paid attendance tonight, a sellout at Minute Maid Park.
Very nice.
I believe this is the 3rd sellout of the year. When the Yankee game sold out, opening day sold out.
Well, let's make a habit of this. What do you say?
It's fun. That's a foul ball. Still a 1-2 count.
So you want to be a catcher, huh? Not sure if that got the toe there. He's pretty well covered up, though. Hand him that. Those shoulder pads, we never had anything like that. Could have gotten a ping pong paddle and sewn in there.
Did you like the brightly colored chest protectors worn in the All-Star game?
Yeah, it was impressive. If you couldn't pick up your target, you weren't trying very hard. Speaking of ping pong paddles, that's kind of what Craig Biggio with Matt Galani used to do to become a second baseman. Get that little paddle there and try to cradle the ball on the paddle. Matt Galani taught him very well.
That was an interesting technique, and it forced him to use both hands to field the ball.
Of course, then you saw the little glove that Joe Morgan would use. It was virtually a paddle.
Very tiny.
And it really forced the concentration to get the ball into the hand.
Certainly did. And second baseman's glove is usually the smallest glove on the field because of the need to get the ball in and out of that glove quickly on double play turns.
Exactly. That transfer mandates a small glove, and you'll find that glove of Jose Altuve will likely be smaller than one worn by anybody else on the field right now.
Duh. He's smaller than anybody else.
Well, okay. So the obvious.
Roller to Valbuena. And the throw low, and Singleton was unable to retain it. Tried to scoop it. It went off his glove and bounced high. It's an error on Valbuena's throw, his 5th error.
You know, I was watching Prince Fielder right here. He was digging down the line. The big man is not fast. Don't get me wrong, but sniffing infield hit, guys will run with everything they've got. And I'll tell you what, he made that a close play, and a lot of times when a guy makes it a close play, he'll be able to pick up the hit.
Watching on that replay, Valbuena fielded the ball to the right of his right leg. Not that he had a whole lot of time to get over in front of it, but that might have caused that throw to be off a little bit.
That's very insightful. Ideally, you'd like to take it more centered up or toward the right foot as an infielder on the left side.
Beltre's 0 for 3. Ball
I said
one.
right foot. I meant left foot.
Okay, right. Yeah. You're correct, sir.
Gives you that chance to get the feet into a solid position before the throw.
All this stuff looks easy on the slow-mo replays.
I've never seen an easier game since sitting up here. You know, golf can look that way.
It can. You're right.
Never be deceived.
We know better. 1-1. Especially when winds are howling at 40 like they were today at the British Open. There's a swing and a miss for Tony Sipp and a 1-2 count.
Take that peek again at what Brownie's talking about. There's the gloving of the ball at the right foot, and that necessitates that no movement with the feet type of play, and oftentimes that will result in a throw that's not on the money.
Poke foul, still a 1-2 count on Beltre.
Is there anybody in the game that has more fun playing it than Adrian Beltre?
Oh, you can just see it on his face.
It just, it's like, Mom, I'm not ready to come home yet.
And it could be a real test, as you know, to go through a difficult season for a player. But there he is on the all-time home run list in 53rd place, behind the idled Miguel Cabrera. And then Duke Snyder.
You know that Al Kaline was on the field the first time I set foot on a major league field, and it just intimidated me to no end.
2-2. Did you go up to him at all?
Well, he came up to me. I was squatting behind home plate and against the Detroit Tigers, and Al Kaline and Frank Howard and a bunch of the big name major league players were in that game. And wow.
Very nice man, too.
Yes, he is a gentleman.
Ground ball third. Valbuena. Altuve. And Singleton turn 2. That's double play number 87 of the year for the Astros.
Tailor-made. Get your third baseman moving towards second and set up Altuve, and that is the only possible result.
Looked as if, despite the fact that that replay is in slow motion, Altuve in regular speed kind of put himself in slow motion.
Yeah, and that's the thing you want to do. You don't want to rush a play that you know is set up for the double play.
Marlins 0 for 3 tonight. Ball 1 to Moreland. Scott Kazmir's pitching tonight for the A's against the Minnesota Twins and Phil Hughes. Kazmir 5-5 with a 2.49 ERA, having a very good year. Houston native. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Anything to read into that?
Well, I was going to make the comment that you and I were looking up his career statistics before the game.
Yep.
because last year he faded in the second half of the season, but that is not his career pattern.
Yeah, it's not the trend at all, and it actually caught me by surprise, but he's been a better second half pitcher over his career than the first half.
That's 1-2 to Moreland. Therefore, these trade rumors, and a lot of those do include Scott Kazmir, because he is potentially a free agent at the end of this season, and Oakland is apparently dropping back and may not be considered a contending team by the end of this month. He might be one of those to be dealt. So people examine things like that. Well, wait a minute, is he not a good second half pitcher? Maybe you don't want to deal for him. Well, he has been.
Within the division, do you think Oakland would talk with the Astros on that deal?
I would guess, not really knowing, but that would just be a guess. I don't think that has the cachet that it used to, right? General managers change all the time, and it's not as if they've all been on the job for 20 years and they don't want to deal with John Smith because he snuffed him a few years ago. Struck him out, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. It is 4-0 Texas. We'll keep it right here.
In honor of tonight's pregame deployment ceremony for the 136th, the Houston Astros would like to pause now to salute and thank all service members who have served or are currently serving and protecting our freedoms around the world each and every day. At this time, we kindly ask that you please rise and raise up that spirit card to let us know who you salute as we pause to honor America with the singing of God Bless America. Please welcome Master Sergeant Promise Harris.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
They trail at 4-0. And as a thank you to the fans for your support during All-Star voting, the Astros are offering a special H-Town Proud All-Star deal. All View Deck 1 and 2 and Outfield Deck 1 and 2 tickets will be available for just $10 for all remaining Tuesday through Thursday home games during the month of July. For more information, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or go to astros.com/HTownProud. Bill, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 4-0. Colby Lewis has had a stranglehold on the Astros tonight. He's retired 12 in a row. Carlos Correa takes strike one, bottom of the 7th inning. Correa is 0 for 2. Only 2 singles for the Astros tonight. They have been shut out 6 times this season. And the slider veers, but it's a swing on appeal there. Correa going for it. 0-2. Will Little with the call. In this ballpark, Lewis brought into this game a career record of 5-0 with an ERA of 1.11, and he has lowered that ERA through 6 innings. It's 1-2. He's now pitched 46 2/3 innings at Minute Maid Park, allowing 27 hits and 5 earned runs. And that's with 4 walks and 44 strikeouts for Colby Lewis in this park. Amazing numbers. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, there are some guys who have the overpowering stuff. You can kind of just basically say, I get it, why he has that kind of success. With Lewis, it's more about command than anything.
In the air, deep center field, way back to Shields. Out of room at the wall. Wow! What a bomb! A long home run for Carlos Correa to break up the shutout bid. Home run number 8.
Anybody question this young man's power? That is out in the large man territory. Well, there's a pitch to hit, a fastball that ran back through a lot of the plate. And Correa didn't miss this one. I commented the last time he wound up swinging through a fastball right there to hit, but not going to miss that many times.
Just to the right of that balcony where the ConocoPhillips pump is. Now Evan Gattis with ball 1. He's 0 for 2. That one had some serious hang time. That was just above and to the right of the 404 sign. Those folks almost had a shot at it. Check swing call. This time goes the Astros way, and it's 2-0. Very impressive swing by Correa for his 21st run batted in.
Emphatically struck, I guess.
That now ties him for the American League shortstop home run lead. And he's been in the big leagues, 6 weeks. 2 balls and a strike.
And he's hit among his home runs some other very impressive home runs. He's got some raw power.
Behind second base, Elvis Andrus is there calling off Odor. 1 out. As we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it's brought to you by Miller Lite.
You've seen an assortment of breaking balls. Fastball that slips by Valbuena. The same thing with Jake Marisnick. So it's been a mixture, but an effective night for the Rangers righty.
Valbuena is 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. That's a looping fly ball, and here's Chu coming in. 2 down. Only 85 pitches through 6 2/3 for Lewis. And he'll face Colby Rasmus, who's 0 for 2. The Astros have not scored more than 3 runs in a game for any of their last 7 ball games. They had 6 straight losses. Then last night they won 3-2. Rasmus takes, and it's ball 1.
On the 2 wins on the road trip recently, the 10-gamer, The Astros scored 10 in a win and 9 in a win, and that was it. Other than that, just couldn't put anything on the board.
1 ball, 1 strike. They are 4th in runs scored in the American League.
They've been as high as 2nd in that regard, so there's been a drop off there recently.
Conger's on deck. That's a ball to Rasmus for a 2-1 count to Colby. Lewis continuing to work very effectively, trying to make it a 7-1 lifetime record against the Astros. Sharp breaking pitch takes the count to 2-2. He can get some chase swings with that sharp breaking ball, as you just saw. The pitch looks like a strike coming in. That's a foul ball. Giovanni Gallardo tomorrow with a 2.62 ERA for the Rangers. Dallas Keuchel tomorrow with a 2.23 ERA for the Astros. 1:10 is our start time. 12:30 for Astros pregame live. The Orioles lead the Tigers 1-0 at Detroit. They're in the top of the 6th inning. In for a strike, and that does it for the 7th inning. That's a 7-pitch inning, and a strikeout number 7 rather for Lewis. He leads it 4-1. This is the brand new club level this season, redone with wood floors with some extra restaurants and bars for your enjoyment as you come out to Minute Maid Park. Big Dreams, the Jose Altuve story, is an inspirational story on the meteoric rise of Jose Altuve from little-known prospect to history-making all-star, and is now available on iTunes. For more information, visit astros.com/bigdreams. Joe Thatcher comes in for inning number 8. Tony Sipp worked an inning into 3rd, allowing no hits, no runs with no walks, 1 strikeout. And now another lefty reliever, Thatcher.
Just 1 and 3 on the year, 3.38 the ERA. And he's been fairly effective against the lefties. Got to get that done.
Josh Hamilton takes his first pitch, and it's ball 1 with Tanner Shepard's warming up in the Texas bullpen. Hamilton 1 for 3, a leadoff double in the 6th, and he scored a run in that frame. He rocks one to right center field. Rasmus will go back and watch it go into the bullpen. A line drive homer by Hamilton, number 3, and it's 5-1 Texas.
Count was only 1-0, but falling behind on a guy like Josh Hamilton sets up that fastball where he guesses and gets it. And he's so strong, even if he doesn't nail it, he's going to hit it out of the yard. I don't think there's any question that Hamilton was looking heater on that 1-0. Just hits it on a line.
Elvis Andrus bunts, and it's foul for strike one. He is 0 for 2 with a sac bunt in this game. Well, Hamilton now has 3 homers with the Rangers. He's driven in 7. Has a double and a long ball tonight. They would welcome strong contributions from the former MVP. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's 2-1. 41,941 packing Minute Maid Park tonight for game 2 of the 3-game series. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, the pitchers are Dallas Keuchel and Giovanni Gallardo at 1:10. Monday's a day off. A ground ball hit through the left side for Andrus. That takes his hitting streak to 5 games. He's 1 for 3. And the Red Sox come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday before the Astros head off to Kansas City.
You can see the pitch up, and Andrus didn't miss it.
Now Chu will be the batter. Chu is 2 for 2 with a sac fly to right. Chirinos comes out to the on-deck circle. Around a bunt. Chu takes it, and it's ball 1. Now 11 hits for the Rangers to 3 for the Astros.
The bunting Texas Rangers.
Yeah,
mixing in a few long balls.
A bit unusual. John Lester did not have a no-hitter, but now he does. Ground ball. That's a bunt back to Thatcher, and he'll throw just barely in time to get Chu on the sacrifice from 1 to 3.
Chu was scooting down the line.
He was. Almost beat it. The Mako big hit of the game came in the 6th inning. It was Robinson Chirinos at the plate, and a 1-0 pitch coming his way from Scott Felton.
One of 3 long balls on the night for the Rangers.
That made it 4-0. Now A.J. Hinch is out of the dugout to make a pitching change. With Chirinos coming up, he moves from left-hander to right-handed reliever in just a moment.
moment. But you can follow the Astros all season with MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball. @bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com @bat for your smartphone or tablet. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Bart. Chad Qualls coming in. And Chad has pitched once since he came off the disabled list. We had a nice chat before the game tonight. He is feeling really good again after that procedure. He had a pinched nerve in his neck. So he's 1-4 and with a 4.97 ERA, really wanting to bring that down. He began experiencing problems in April with the neck. Thought he could pitch through it. Said, no, it was not smart of me. I didn't say anything to anybody until it became pretty bad. And now I feel great again.
It's been really tough against left-hand hitting. He's got that running fastball that goes away from the lefties, tends to come back in through the heart of the plate on the right-hand hitters who have fared well this year.
Robinson Chirinos has a walk, and that homer we saw a moment ago. Altuve standing on second base trying to hold Andrus closer, as he might be having thoughts of stealing third. Now Valbuena feels the grounder, throws to Singleton, and there's out number 1. Now number 2 rather. Qualls was explaining, Ash didn't realize this, but he had to be put out for this procedure, enabling a few more shots to be given to the right side of his neck, and that really turned the trick as far as quieting that pinched nerve in his neck.
I'd say you start bringing needles toward my neck and you're going to have to put me out as well.
True. DeShields has had a big night. He's been on 3 times. A walk, a double, a single. He has also stolen a base. Qualls could be very important for the Astros from here on out. Now that's the pitch.
That's it.
Yeah, he talked about that before the game tonight.
Now he got a ground ball on the first pitch, a fastball that was not in that kind of a location, more up and through the plate, but that's the one that helps him not only survive but succeed.
That's the one he felt was affected by the pinched nerve. And also on the slider there, he was not able to throw that for strikes. He was missing outside to right-handed batters. So you've seen in just those last 2 pitches what he illustrated to me during the conversation tonight that he had not been able to do for the last several weeks.
So when things are not going right for you, consider hypodermics to the neck.
Ugh. Runner takes off for third, and the pitch is outside. Conger then raised up late, but he had the base stolen, and Andrus eased in with steal number 10.
It's one of those pitches as a catcher, see the runner going, but the pitch is so close you want to get the call for your pitcher, and it's tough to make a determination there.
So the steal of third with 2 outs gives the Rangers leading 5-1. Another opportunity. It's 2-2, and you'll get questions about stealing third with 2 outs from a lot of people, the value of it.
How about bunting in the 8th inning with a man on first base and nobody out, leading 5-1?
A bit questionable.
That's surprising.
Yes. Valbuena, good pick up to the backhand side. That is an outstanding play. It's 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. 5-1 Rangers. Rangers, their catcher Robinson Chirinos win deep. And there's Carlos Correa for the Astros. He's the power player of the game for Houston. That's his 8th home run of the season. That was leading off the home 7th inning. That's the only blow for the Astros in the power department all night tonight. They've had only 3 hits.
May not want to leave it right there for Carlos Correa. Legit big-time power.
That was. And we've had outfield shifting going on for Jeff Bannister. He's inserted Leonis Martin into center field, moving Delino to Shields to left and Josh Hamilton to right. Here's Hank Conger. Strike 1 to Conger. Conger has a strikeout and a fly ball to right. We're talking about that no-hitter through 7 for the Chicago Cubs lefty John Lester. That's rolled to second base. Odor throws him out, 1 out. There had been a hit by one of the Atlanta Braves. That scoring was changed to an error. So the Cubs lead it 2-0, bottom of the 8th, as Lester has a no-hitter going against Atlanta.
Has there ever been what was seen as a no-hitter, no hits at the end of 9 innings, and had a ruling change made afterwards where you took away a no-hitter with a hit?
Can't remember one. John Singleton's 1 for 2. That's strike 1 to him.
Yeah, that would be really tough to do.
David Price of Detroit has struck out 12 in 7 innings tonight, but Chris Tillman has given up 1 hit in 8 innings, and Baltimore leads Detroit 1-0 in the top of the 9th. It's 1-1 for Singleton.
David Price is a free agent at the end of the season?
Yes.
Wow. That would be a nice present.
That'll be Max Scherzer type money, right?
Oh, I would think so, yeah.
2 balls and a strike. Johnny Cueto is in line for a huge deal, probably a package of more than $200 million after this year. There's going to be a lot of money thrown around this winter again. 3 balls and a strike. Did you see the item that new commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, is entertaining thoughts of expansion?
Well, I think I had heard somewhere along the line that he was open-minded toward it. Is that getting more and more serious?
There were a couple stories about it yesterday. Strike to Singleton. That makes it 3-2 now. He's questioning that call by Tony Randazzo.
It's pretty well spotted right there. And I don't think there's any beef about that one.
Looping line drive. That's in for a hit. And Singleton has 2 of the Astros' 4 hits tonight.
Okay, so John's hit a couple of line drives tonight. You know, Carter's going to be out likely at least another day. Can John Singleton swing his way into this lineup?
He has a golden opportunity, at least for the next few days. Here's a look now at tomorrow's pitching matchup. Brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. And we look at the Astros ace, Dallas Keuchel, against the Rangers ace, Giovanni Gallardo tomorrow, both with outstanding numbers. Now Marwin Gonzalez comes out to the on-deck circle. Jake Marisnick was due to hit next, and we'll see a change for the Rangers. Jeff Bannister's had the bullpen going. Lewis with 7 1/3 innings of outstanding baseball. He's at the 100 pitch mark, and he leaves with a 5-1 lead. 31 games, he's 3-0 with a 4.20 ERA.
28 years of age, 4th year in the big leagues. And he's had success in terms of wins and losses. Doesn't always tell much of a story. He's 10-4 lifetime. ERA at 4.20. Sees the situation.
Well, he had appeared in 6 consecutive games for the Rangers and then did not pitch last night. Now here's the pinch hitter, Marwin Gonzalez, batting for Jake Marisnick. Bottom of the 8th inning. Marwin has been one of the hottest hitters for the Astros recently, and at 258. He has 6 homers, 20 runs batted in. He's had 198 at bats. As a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 3. Marwin was in the starting lineup last night after having an excellent road trip, and he went 2 for 4 playing third base. Gets this one out into center field, and with the running drop, here's Martin, but he'll get the force out at second. Well, he seemed to have it, and then he might have glanced up. Still got the force out on Singleton, who was frozen, and Martin, looking down at his glove, escapes an error because he got an out on the play.
Fortunate for Martin. Very tough if you're John Singleton. There's no way you can anticipate a major league center fielder dropping that ball. So you're already turning around, heading back toward the bag, and no way to make up for it.
That glove might go in the trash can the way he's treating it right now. Jose Altuve's 1 for 3. The no-hitter by Lester was broken up by an A.J. Przinsky hit in the 8th inning for Atlanta. That bounces off the chest protector of Chirinos for ball 1. Ranger bullpen has been dicey with 13 wins, 13 losses, a 4.34 ERA. Last night, though, the relievers worked 3 hitless innings. Matt McKilla and Freeman. Rangers have allowed 38 relief home runs. That's the 3rd most in Major League Baseball. Altuve swings, and it's 1-1. And this bullpen has been used often by Jeff Bannister. 273 relief appearances prior to this one. 3rd most in the American League. They have 283 relief innings. That's 4th most in the AL. Fouled away 1 and 2. The Astros have been a late scoring team this year, as you know. They've scored 136 runs before tonight in the 7th inning or later. That's 3rd in the majors, and they added 1 more to that on the Correa 7th inning long ball. A.J. Hinch is ready for more of that. Fouled by Altuve, still 1 and 2. Tucker's on deck. And then Correa could come up if this 2-out rally continues. That's the whole idea for the Astros, who are down by 4. Try to get the potential tying run to the plate. Rangers have their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in the 9th. Odor, Fielder, and Beltre. Line shot, gapper left center field, and that's going to go through. Here's the run coming to the plate. And the throw, and safe. That was a close play. It's 5-2 as Marwin Gonzalez scores it on what could have been the 3rd out of the inning. But it's an RBI double for Altuve. Now Jeff Bannister may challenge this. He's well out onto the field. And it appears that he will be doing exactly that.
You know, one thing Marwin did there, and I don't know if it changes anything at all, probably doesn't, but Marwin stepped back and touched the plate again. And I think when a tag's been applied there, you don't ever want to do that and leave the impression that maybe you didn't even touch the plate the first time. Hanger pays the price there for Altuve. But good execution on the relay. A good strong arm from Elvis Andrus. That's a nice play by the catcher. Did the hand of Marwin Gonzalez get to the plate? Tough to say from that angle. It may have. I thought that the left leg and shin guard of Chirinos might have blocked off the plate, but there was a piece of the plate, a sliver showing, and Marwin may have gotten to it.
Can't tell from that angle.
You know, watching the previous angle, boy, that's a tough one to determine. Really tough. Chirinos says, no, I think you might have made a mistake. Wow.
Jerry Davis, the crew chief, on your right. Home plate umpire is Tony Randazzo, who made that call. No, the umpires rotated, so Will Little, the first base umpire, actually made that call. He was at home plate on the rotation.
I don't know that is a play that you could turn around the call on. Now, had Marwin been called out initially, I'm not sure that you get it the other way either, but I think that hand gets to that sliver of the plate that we mentioned, and we'll see it right here. This is the one that will tell. Does the hand get in there? And I think it does. Yes.
That looks more favorable to the Astros.
Certainly does. That tag had not been applied by the time the hand got to the plate. And again, to me, it came back to, was Marwin blocked off the plate, and he was not.
Now, the reason for the umpire rotation is that with that ball being hit to left center field, the third base umpire, Jerry Davis, has to go out, and that means the home plate umpire has to rotate to third, and the first base umpire, Will Little, comes to make that call at home plate.
I think Will Little has a call to be proud of right there, and I certainly hope the folks in New York agree with me, but I believe the hand got in there.
You made the key point earlier, Ash, when you talked about the evidence and how strong it has to be to overturn the call in the field.
Yeah. Watch hand to the edge of the plate. Now the tag's being applied. And again, if that originally was called out, will the umpires have enough to turn the call around? But for me, there's no evidence that says the tag got on the body of Marwin prior to the fingers at the plate.
Excellent fundamentals of umpiring, with Will Little coming from first base to home plate, being in position, and now the call still being reviewed in New York.
By the way, for those who really don't like replay, you would be watching a lot of argument going on with players and managers and coaches. Let's take our peek again. Get it in there. And oh boy, did that hand actually get to the plate?
Really hard to tell.
Boy, on that one, I might change my opinion. Hate to acknowledge. That one to me says this could get turned around.
It's always been an issue with the umpiring crews in New York that once you slow that down frame by frame, the video gets grainier. It's hard to see with clarity when you freeze the frame.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. If that says, well, we don't have enough evidence to turn the play around, so be it. But I think when there is a play that's potentially crucial in a ball game, you want to get it right, and I like what baseball's doing.
Safe is the call. It's upheld, and the Astros get the run home to make it 5-2. RBI double for Altuve. That's his 18th double, his 40th run batted in.
Now there was that instant where the fingers were heading toward the plate and then kind of stopped for just a brief moment. And I don't think Jeff Bannister and the rest of the Texas Rangers agreed with that ruling. But now you've got a chance, if you're the Astros, to have yourself a bit of an inning here in the eighth.
Marwin Gonzalez got home. Now it's Preston Tucker batting. He's 0 for 3. And it's ball one. That replay review took 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Tucker crushed the ball to center field, caught by DeShields in the first inning. In the sixth inning, the first baseman Moreland made a slick play on him, tossing to the pitcher Lewis covering. He works the count 2-0 as Shepard is on the mound and trying to protect this 3-run lead.
That's an intriguing shot of Marwin Gonzalez in the dugout. He looked more angry than anything else. Maybe vindicated would be another way of saying.
That's ball 3, and it's 3-0 to Tucker. Shepard's opened the season on the disabled list with a right ankle sprain. He's 28 years old from Mission Viejo, California, a supplemental pick of the Rangers after the first round of the 09 draft. He was the opening day starter for them in 2014. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Tucker, and now Correa to the plate. Has the potential tying run here in the 8th. And a move will be made. Well, Mike Maddox is coming out, so maybe not. Correa crushed that homer on a 2-2 count in the 7th inning for the Astros' first run of the night. And the fans enjoying the thought of another late inning rally.
Yeah, this is exactly the way the Astros would like to set it up for this opportunity.
Correa had flied to right and struck out when he stepped up in the 7th inning and ripped that shot. About a 450-footer or so just to the right of the balcony out in left center field. 8 home runs in his first 141 Major League at-bats for Carlos Correa. Foul ball, and he hobbles away from home plate on strike 1.
You know, I said earlier in the ballgame that Carlos has been taking a lot of strikes recently. But here he gets in a situation where he's got a couple of men aboard and a chance to get back even in the ballgame, and he got that early hack.
Waiting for that pain to wear off after fouling that ball off his leg now.
That may not happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Gaddis is on deck. He has entered the major league scene with a big splash this year. Carlos Correa. Ground ball, and there's Odor off his glove into right field. Altuve comes to the plate, and it's 5-3 on the RBI single. Correa now has 22 runs batted in, and there's a lot of life at Minute Maid Park.
I think we were all looking for the long ball, but let's go ahead and take that miserable single right there. And the Astros are trying to make a game of this.
5-3, runners at first and third for Evan Gaddis.
Don't know if he had designs on that hole on the right side, but just more impressive work by Carlos Correa.
The Astros have 22 come from behind wins this season. 3 times they've rallied when they've trailed after 7. Gaddis is 0 for 3 tonight. Bueno on deck, and the Rangers stay with Shepard. Pat Neshek is warming up for Houston.
The base hit by Correa also gives Evan Gaddis the chance to play hero.
Ball 1. That's blocked out front by Chirinos. Gaddis, the 7th Astro to bat in this 8th inning rally.
Really nice work by Chirinos. And the one thing to notice that there is the way the glove just stayed down. It didn't try to come up. When you come up with the glove, it creates issues with the baseball hitting that glove and ball going different directions. It also stiffens the body. And again, just fine work behind the plate.
In the dirt. Now 2-0. Shepard came in and he got the out. Marwin Gonzalez with that fly ball dropped by Martin. They got the force at second. Now the bullpen is ready with Sam Freeman. Freeman has pitched in the last 7 Ranger games. And He's getting ready for Valbuena, who's on deck.
Meanwhile, it's 2-0 on Gaddis and a great hitter's count.
Two balls and a strike as Shepard pumps it in.
I wonder if Evan got surprised by getting the 2-0 fastball there.
I am. Shepard's in 9 career outings against the Astros, has an ERA of 7.43. He's allowed 11 earned runs in 13 1/3 innings prior to this game. In the dirt, that kicks away, but not very far. And now it's 3-1.
For young catchers, a little bit of a clinic being put on here.
Shepard has surrendered 4 homers this year in his 30 innings plus. Big 3-1 pitch coming with 2 outs and 2 on. Gaddis takes strike 2 on the slider.
Well, that body reacted in a way that would definitely tell you he got fooled on that breaking ball on the 3-1. Watch his body flinch back. Yep. That's not the pitch he was looking for.
Correa will take off. 3-2, 2 outs. That's a slow runner to shortstop, charged by Andrews. Oh, and here's glove. 1-run home, and stop sign at third. Into second base. Gaddis on an error by Andrews, and it's now 5-4. 16th error of the year for Elvis Andrews.
Wow, this crowd has come completely alive. This is not an easy play, but as an infielder, you can't allow the ball to go by you there. The Astros almost able to take advantage and get another run.
That's error number 70 for the Rangers this season. There you see the hustle of Carlos Correa, who goes first to third, and also Evan Gaddis hustled his way into second base as Tucker scored the run to make it a 1-run lead, 5-4. Pitching change will bring in lefty Sam Freeman to face lefty hitting Luis Valbuena. We'll be back in a moment. Fair now at Southwest.com. Brought to you by Pixels in theaters July 24th. And by Whataburger. Come meet Evan Gaddis at Whataburger in Baytown, Texas, July 21st from 11 a.m. to noon. For more information, visit Astros.com/appearances. Lefty Sam Freeman Pitched last night. He has pitched in the last 6 Texas Rangers games. He has a 5-4 lead. Bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs. Runners at second and third. And he's facing a pinch hitter for Luis Valbuena. L.J. Hose. 7 holds and an ERA of 3.66 for Freeman. Hose started last night. He was 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And there's ball 1. Hose just joined the Astros when the club was in Tampa Bay prior to the break. And he's gone 3 for 7 as an Astro this year with 1 RBI. This will be his first pinch hit at bat. He was hitting very well for AAA Fresno. Little roller, Freeman makes the toss to first. And the Astros make it a 1-run game going to the 9th. It's 5-4 Texas.
Inning, Jose Altuve gaps one into left center field, and this puts Marwin Gonzalez on the move toward the plate, and literally the rewind play that had to be rewound over and over. Ultimately, Marwin Gonzalez called safe after the original call of safe, and a big run for the Astros as they've climbed to within 1 now of the Texas Rangers, but not everybody was in agreement.
Now Marwin Gonzalez has stayed in to play third base. Luis Valbuena leaving for the pinch hitter L.J. Hose. L.J. checks into right field. Colby Rasmus has moved from right to center. Jake Marisnick had left for the pinch hitter Gonzalez. Now here's Josh Fields. He is pitcher number 5 for the Astros. He's 2-1 with a 2.48 ERA.
Big time strikeout pitcher. 39 punch outs in 28 innings. Walking more than he would like, but that overpowering stuff went on.
Odor, who has hit a 2-run homer tonight, is 2 for 4. He leads it off in the 9th inning with Fielder and Beltre to follow. 5-4 Texas. The hits are in favor of the Rangers, 11-6. Each club has made 1 error. We've got an argument going, and Fielder was sprinting toward the home plate umpire. What is this all about? Odor was into it with the home plate umpire. No, some Astros and Rangers are into it a little bit too over something. Fielder just sprinted toward home plate when Odor was toe-to-toe with a home plate umpire.
I believe it might have been Hank Conger and Odor, if I saw things accurately. Now we've got 2 managers going after each other.
Well, now we do seem to have a rivalry in the battle for the silver boot.
You are right. I don't know the last time I saw 2 managers going face-to-face like that.
A.J. Hinch and Jeff Bannister right in the middle of the scrum. That's Steve Buechele, the bench coach now.
I got the impression at the plate, Brownie, that all of a sudden Hank Conger stood up, had heard one more thing that he wanted to hear from Odor, and they were about to come together, and that's when Prince entered the scene.
Yeah, Prince sprinted toward home plate. We're hearing that Conger was telling Odor to get in the batter's box. Odor showboated on his 2-run homer to the upper deck in the 3rd inning. His third base coach trying to settle him down. Odor does have a bit of showboating.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And the umpires ought to be the ones saying get in the box. And I'm not saying that Hank Conger shouldn't. I'm just saying this ought to be policed. Get in the box. It's time to play baseball.
At that point, everybody waiting for Rougned Odor, and finally, and now there you have it, Conger and Odor, and fielder sprinting in.
You know what, though, this didn't need to turn into both dugouts emptying and coming to the plate. And in the minor leagues, they take care of this by finding anybody who does come from a dugout or bullpen. I wish the major leagues would do the same thing. Players Association likely wouldn't accept that. But, you know, you got one-on-one at the plate, and if it escalates, let it be that.
Odor evidently is saying to Conger, "What did you say?" And then at that point, it got a little testy. Fielder, though, sprinted in, and he tried to separate Conger from Odor. And A.J. Hinch out with Jeff Bannister. They are toe-to-toe on this one.
You know, it looked like Prince Fielder might have taken a little push jab at A.J.
We do have a rivalry now.
It's working.
And Odor takes ball 1. Marwin Gonzalez is about 60 feet from him.
We have an angry hitter now.
Upstairs, and it's 2-0 for Josh Fields. And Josh, of course, had this long delay. He just entered the game, had not thrown a pitch, and then a bit of a fracas ensued, so he's been waiting. And foul back. It's 2-1. Fielder pushed Hinch. Yes, he did.
Right there.
Well, that's instigating trouble.
And Jeff Bannister jumps in, and I'm not sure if Bannister maybe misread that, because I don't think he would have appreciated an Astros player throwing that same kind of jab at him.
Not a bit. Not a bit. That's probably a finable offense. Two-2. We got the fans fired up. As if the 3-run 8th didn't do that.
I'd like to see one more of these fastballs thrown by this angry hitter at the plate now, because he was urged to get in the box. Nice going, Hank Conger. I love it.
Line drive right center field. That's going to be a gapper, and way up on Taos Hill. Odor might be able to do more than get 3. It's way up on the top of the hill. He goes to third base. Beasley holds him there, and it's a triple for Odor. And he got his revenge, and that's his 3rd hit of the night.
Wow. Ellis has gotten a little hot doggy right here. Yeah, and now he's yelling at whoever, you don't pull that stunt on me. And then when Odor got to third base, I think he tried to say that Marwin impeded his progress.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Infield in for Fielder, and there's ball 1 to him. Fielder's 1 for 4, and the crowd is fired up. Now back, and it's 1-1.
Let's see if we can see again down at third base. Odor comes around the base. Well, that's not a good turn at the bag, by the way. That's not the way you would turn going toward home plate. And Odor's trying to say, he impeded my progress. Send me to the plate. Come on.
12 hits for the Rangers now. All the way, and it's 1-2 to Fielder. I think it's on between these two teams now, Ash. When you have a player pushing an opposing manager, that's not going to go down.
Yeah. You know, when you're the stature of Prince Fielder and also the stature of what he's done in this game, sometimes you get a bit of a breather. But I'm curious to hear the outcome between the two managers who went face to face.
Foul back. 1-2 count. Beltre's on deck. The Astros will have Rasmus, Conger, and Singleton due up in the bottom of the ninth.
Now, I don't know why Bannister came over to the Astros side to go after A.J. Hinch. I honestly can't come up with anything.
Well, and a huge strikeout for Josh Fields. What a breaking pitch down and in. Would set it up with riding fastballs prior to that.
You always have to be aware of the fastball from Josh Fields. You know, had Prince Fielder stopped with his peacemaking act at home plate, he would have been kind of the hero of the whole thing.
Adrian Beltre's 3 for 7 against Josh Fields. Infield stays in. Beltre's 0 for 4. Marlins on deck. And it's a foul tip, strike one. Well, if Josh Fields can get out of this jam, this crowd will explode going to the bottom of the ninth.
Well, if there's one guy on this Astros staff that could turn that trick, it is Josh Fields with that punch-out ability of his.
Back, no balls, 2 strikes. Sean Tollison is the Rangers closer. He's warming up. He has 13 saves. Good drama tonight at Minute Maid Park. Straight back. Good cut by Beltre.
Now I'm really surprised looking at the defense of the Astros that Colby Rasmus once again in the shallow depth at which he is playing a very powerful hitter in Beltre.
It would take a heck of a throw to get the speedy Odor at home plate on a fly ball. In the dirt, Conger blocks it. 1-2. 41,941 the paid attendance. A sellout tonight. And it's turned out to be a dandy. It was 4-0 Rangers, and it was 5-1 Rangers. They got hit the Astros 12-6. They've left 8. The Astros have stranded 4. Popped up, foul, and that's out of play.
I don't know, Brownie, has the silver boot ever meant anything in reality to the players on either side?
Well, there's never been a real race between these two clubs. Of course, they began that when they were in different leagues, and it was a rare trophy for interleague play. And I don't know if any other teams, I think Cincinnati and Cleveland might give a trophy for the winner of their interleague series, but it seemed to be created more by the clubs than by the players on the field.
Agreed. Right now, as you have said, it may be different from here on out.
Now straight back, good at bat here for Beltre. Josh Fields
pitching for the first time in 9 days. His last outing was at Cleveland, July 9th. He's 6th among American League relievers with 12.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. Off the plate, and it's 2-2 to Beltrade. Nolan and Ruth Ryan with many years of watching both of these teams. Right there in the front row. Into center field, it's 6-4 Rangers on the RBI single by Beltrade. That's his 23rd run batted in. A big 2-strike delivery by Beltrade.
You know, I like the veteran style of Adrian Beltrade. No showboating there on the play. But some people have taken this one over the top.
That's 13 hits now for the Rangers. Mitch Moreland is 0 for 4. That's a foul ball, strike one. Josh Field's the real power arm in the Astros relief corps. He's pitcher number 5 to work in this game. The swing there makes it 0-2. That is curious, the point you made about Odor not getting in the box, why the home plate umpire would not have instructed him to do so.
I keep wondering, and not just about this one particular at bat, but over the course of the season. I'd like to see the umpires enforce that. Tell the guys, let's go, get in the box. It used to happen.
Moreland's down on strikes. 2 punch outs from Fields.
And again, I applaud Hank Conger for saying, hey, let's go. Get in the box.
Josh Hamilton's had an impact tonight with a double and a homer. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. Astros infield continues to play him to pull the ball. Angels lead the Red Sox 2-0 in the 4th as that foul ball takes the count to 0-1. That's Garrett Richards tonight for the Angels. Through 4 innings, he's allowed 1 hit, no runs. Rick Porcello is on the mound for Boston. He gave up a home run to Cole Calhoun. Solo shot. Upstairs, it's 1-1.
The Angels have other players outside Mike Trout and Albert Pujols.
Well, that is quite a 1-2 punch, isn't it? And we talked about it last night, the fact that they were co-leaders going into last night in the American League home run race. And it kind of reminds some of us of Mantle and Maris. The year they dueled it out for the home run crown in '61 in the American League. It's that kind of a 1-2 punch for the Angels this year.
Of course, I jest, but Cole Calhoun is a very good player for the Halos.
He is. The Angels, by the way, will be here at the end of the month. That'll be July 28th, 29th, and 30th. Line shot, right field corner. That might get another run home. Beltrade heads for third. He is being waved on by Beasley. And Altuve's throw to the plate. Conger with the tag, safe. Another runner scores, and then Hamilton winds up at third to make it 7-4. 2 runs home in the inning on 3 hits.
Everything done well, including the third base coaching by Beasley, coming way down the line toward the plate and giving his runner a chance to really see him and maybe a late hold. But Josh Hamilton is starting to loosen up the bat here in this game anyway. See that positioning? Really nice.
14 hits for the Rangers. That's a double for Hamilton. He takes third on the throw. So he has a homer and a pair of doubles tonight. Elvis Andrus the batter. And he fouls it for strike one. Andrus has a hit tonight, 1 for 3. Well, there should be plenty of flavor tomorrow afternoon at 1:10 when Dallas Keuchel takes on the Rangers. And they've had their hitting shoes on tonight with the 14 hits. Giovanni Gallardo goes to the mound for Texas. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gallardo has had an outstanding career record against the Astros.
I'm going to trust that Dallas will continue to quieten down the bats of the opponents.
Gallardo's 14-3 against Houston with a 2.72 career ERA. 1-2. That should be a dandy tomorrow. Martin is on deck. Rangers got 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th, a single run in the 8th, 2 runs here in the 9th inning. Off the plate for a ball. That makes it a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Now 3-2 for Josh Fields. Oakland and Minnesota 0-0. Top of the 6th in Oakland. In the air, and there's Tucker in left center field. And the Rangers come up with 2 insurance runs in the 9th inning on 3 hits. They strand a runner at third. They lead it 7-4. And 5-1. Found that lead had shrunk to a 1-run lead moving to the 9th inning. Now they have achieved a couple of insurance runs in the top of the 9th, and they lead at 7-4 going to the bottom half with their closer Sean Tollison coming in. Tollison in 37 games is 2-2. He's 13 for 14 in saves.
40 strikeouts, 8 walks allowed, 4 homers allowed. Shake up those bats one more time.
Well, he got his first blown save in his final outing before the All-Star break last weekend against San Diego. A week ago tonight, gave up 5 hits in that one. He'll face Colby Rasmus, who's 0 for 3.
You know, the Texas Rangers, it would seem at least, got energized a little bit by what went on the field, which was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
But you'd love to see the Astros react the same way here.
Ned Odor was the principal involved, and Hank Conger said something to Odor, which got him all fired up. Rasmus takes the heater. It's 1-1. Colby Lewis went 7 1/3. He allowed 4 hits, 2 runs with no walks. He struck out 7 through 100 pitches, 68 for strikes. Line shot, right field corner. That's in for a hit. Rasmus heads for second base. Ball picked up by Hamilton. He's in with a leadoff double. 16th double of the year for Colby Rasmus.
There you go. Colby can turn anything around at any time. And a nice little start here in the 9th.
The Astros trail by 3. They get the lead man to second, and it's Hank Conger batting now. Conger's 0 for 3. That was hit number 7 for Houston. The Rangers have 14. Strike 1 to Conger. Sam Freeman retired the only man he faced, L.J. Hose. It's 1-1.
Pretty good looking pitch right there.
Tollison last year pitched 64 times as a setup man. He gets strike 2 on Conger. He did not have a major league save coming into this year. Picked up his first save the 20th of May. He's made up for some lost ground. His career ERA against Houston is 0.60. Foul ball keeps the count at 1-2. The Astros have hit 154 against Tollison. Began his career in the Dodger organization, a 30th round draft choice in 2010. He's from Dallas and went to Baylor. Pitched very well last year with men on base, and in 4 outings this year he has an ERA of 0 against the Astros for 4 innings. Fly ball left field. That'll back up to Shields. Conger has hit it hard. He's in it out. And now it's a 1-run game. Hank Conger with number 6 lights it up. Nobody out, and it's down to a run.
Well, that's great to see. And also no showboating at all from Hank Conger. Just take it in stride, play some baseball.
It came on a 1-2 pitch, and he found the Crawford boxes.
Well, left-hand hitters who have some power should love hitting in this ballpark.
That's number 6 for Hank Conger. 14 runs batted in. Now John Singleton, 2 for 3. This crowd is up. And it's ball 1. Tollison, who had a rough outing a week ago before the All-Star break, now has difficulty. Off-speed pitch floats in over the edge for a strike call. 1-1. Last year, Tollison pitched 8 times against the Astros with a 0.82 ERA. Big cut, and it's 1-2. Luke Gregerson is warming up for Houston.
Nice immediate response by the club.
Marwin Gonzalez is on deck. Jose Altuve now will get an at bat here in the bottom of the ninth. Off the plate, now 2-2. Singleton has drawn 5 walks. Struck him out on an off-speed offering, 1 out.
That changeup very much like Lance McCullers does on occasions, just fading it off the outside edge.
That's a great pitch. Marwin Gonzalez hit a fly ball to center field. It was dropped by Leonis Martin, but he got the force out on Singleton. Gonzalez then came around to score on that play that was reviewed in the 8th inning. So Marwin 0 for 1 in this game. Marwin's had 199 at bats this year. That's strike 1. He's hit 232 left-handed. The bullpens of both teams combined have allowed 7 runs in this game. Marwin hit 421 on the last road trip, going 8 for 19 with a homer.
Yeah, he started out as a hitter hot from the right side, but he showed that he was swinging it well also from the left.
Since June 14th, he's been a .348 hitter with a .985 OPS in his last 24 games. No time called. It's a ball, and it's 2-1. It was 7-4, but then Rasmus opened the inning with a double. Conger hit a 2-run homer. So now a 1-run lead for the Rangers in 1-run games. They are 14-15. The Astros 13-13. Jeff Bannister's club has lost 8 of the last 9. Little dribbler up the line. Collison tossing him out. 2 outs. And Jose Altuve will bat with 2 outs.
Stay tuned after the game as the studio crew breaks down all the action from tonight's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much more on the Astros postgame show, presented by Houston Methodist.
Altuve is 2 for 4. He had the RBI double in the 8th inning. Preston Tucker's on deck. Low for ball 1. Park has been rocking for the last few innings. Out of the way, and it's 1-1.
It's not the ideal 1-0 for Jose to go after.
Still lead Boston 2-0, top of the 5th. 1-2.
Now, if you're thinking about trying to crank one to left field, that pitch might have been ideal.
Hands are up for Altuve. 2-2.
Close pitch. Hate to take him, but also can't do anything with that pitch.
Rangers have the best road record in the majors, 26-21. Altuve grounds to third. Beltre with the final out, and the Rangers win at 7-6 in a wild one at Minute Maid Park, including a little tussle between these two clubs. Rangers celebrate their 43rd win of the year, and they have now squared this series, sending it to a rubber game tomorrow at 1:10 between the opening day starters of these two clubs. Final score tonight is the Rangers 7, the Astros 6.